What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to the finals of the Apex Legends lobby for the one of the final games of the Summer Splash 2024. My name is melocrit, and I am joined by Amuruiz. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be covering these last sets of games from some players that have already been through the ringer a little bit and are here to close things out, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, melocrit, 20 teams, 20 minutes, one champion, a timeless piece of Apex Legends. It's finals day, baby, and what a roster we have in front of us today.
Yeah, so be a good set of games. We're already getting a quick peek at where some of these teams might be dropping, where some of our early contests might be showing, and we've already taken a look at some of the teams as well, just by themselves. Some stars that have really come through what might be very low expectations. We got some teams here that aren't the crazy highest rank and are still showing up in a big way, making it to the finals here for, I guess you could call it, championship Sunday here to prove that they had it the whole time, right? They just had to get their opportunity here in the finals, and they could easily steal it away.
Yeah, and I mean, for every story where there's a David, there has to be a Goliath. Heavy favorites coming into this. Looking at the team of Don Ratenzi and Zoro City, they have dominated in scrims, they've dominated in groups, and now they look to repeat it again in the finals. As we head in, let's begin. Map 1 looks ready to go underway. Before,
And
before
we were
that,
talking
though,
about
few things.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say we were talking a little bit about the POI. So I know you noticed some interesting points here that you were already surprised by early. Can you tell me a little bit about, at least for me, I know which POIs I was looking out for, but which POIs are you a little bit surprised about that are either lacking contests or are sort of a little bit empty?
Straight off the bat, thanks, Mello. Straight off the bat, looking at it, you can already see some storylines being formed. Specifically, let's look at the team of Jork and It. By It, most likely in this case, they mean TGB, because on both maps, both teams are going to be contesting. Specifically, Overlook and Geyser on World's Edge, as well as, I believe, the Control Center and Lightning Rod over on Storm Point. So it'll be interesting to see where they do decide to go here. On the other hand, you're looking at areas like Mod and Stacks. Not many teams controlling it, all given to Dank Zero. And also areas, very important areas in the map, JFF getting all of Skyhook East. These are great power positions for them to be holding on to in the finals.
Yeah, but we do have a number of contests, and well, I'm not entirely surprised. Actually, I'm a bit happy to see that we were looking at the POI picks a little bit earlier. A little bit surprised to see Siphon uncontested, but we can see now that isn't going to be the case. So, a number of fights here to kick things off. Team 4 on your screens right now looks to be SJSU. It's getting poked up from range a little bit, maybe across the other side there. Take a peek at Team 18. It's already starting to kick off the poke a little bit. Actually, kind of a split loot here, which is really just taking full advantage of that space as much as possible, trying to put on the pressure because we know there's a number of teams that are partially kitted up or getting kitted up rather in the northwest edge of the map.
Yeah, and as the teams start to scramble to make up their teams start to scramble to get their bearings, make up their position, you see the zone starts to pull over towards the left side of the map. Mello, just having a look at this, where do you think the zone's trying to go towards?
I mean, there's a number of finishes that we could see right here. I think SJSU defending this position could be very beneficial because there is a chance it pulls up towards Countdown, could even pull as far as Skyhook. So I think we'll wait to see a little bit here as teams start to get that map information, start to get those scans. We'll start to see a lot more rotations, though things a little bit slow for the time being. So I expect the teams that are going to be on the top left of your screens are going to certainly feel the safest as long as they can defend those positions. Looking over towards the northeast, you see a lone member of RIT very, very far north. It looks like there wasn't quite a fight over there. So they're going to have a ton of space to be looting. And it looks like, as we saw, a little bit of that next green circle. It is peeking over towards that northernmost skyhook finish, which means that they're going to have a whole lot of space to loot, a whole lot of time to get there, and not much opposition, unlike Team 14 on your screens right now taking a fight in the
Basically thrown out. Get a better position right here. Now ready to go in with the rest of their team. Smokes to cover them as they start their assault, the barrage on this house, and it seems lots of damage coming through. A fight going on either front. Out the Bangalore taking lots of damage, going down. A trade instantly there though on a response. Big fight to win out. They so advantage with that shield, but still the Palace able to win out a 2 fights. Big round here. And they're gonna be able to get this res, I think.
Yeah, it looks like they did clean up that wipe. Pretty solid work there from the Mastiff. Is going to do huge work and playing beautifully around that knockdown shield as well to cover those stairs, leaving absolutely no options. And yeah, now it's going to be up to Team 2. Twigs and Co. going to run for the hills, try and recover this game a little bit. And they might have the opportunity to do it. It looks like Team 14 has not given chase. They have not given into the greed. I think they understand it might be time to start booking it towards the zone, especially with a composition like this. We are seeing 2 control characters in this stack with the Catalyst and the Watson. So you'd expect this as a team that would be prioritizing getting deep into zone very early. But having taken this fight early, they're going to be definitely a little bit later to the draw, and it could be a little bit detrimental if they get caught out in a fight against someone like that.
The flip side of the script, this team 15, I believe, is what a composition to be run. Mirage, Octane, Pathfinder, the name of the game for them is fight, and already getting themselves into a little bit of a skirmish. Those blue foxes from a prior battle, they've already come off victorious here, but now making their way into the zone. Lots of teams surrounding them, so they're gonna have to be really careful about how they're gonna pull off this rotation. But on the other side of the map, fighting still ensuing over towards Lost, I think.
Trying to weigh things out a little bit as this first zone starts to close. We're starting to see that opposition on the southern side of the map as teams start to crash into each other. These rotations starting to look a little bit slow from a number of squads, and it's certainly going to hurt, not just in terms of damage, but of course the resources that they're going to have to burn. You can see there likely to be 3, maybe even 4 teams that are joining the fray on that southern side over by the Harvester. It is going to get increasingly dicey as they try to move their way in. Team 4 on the other end of the map is perfectly content with their spot and perfectly content with that damage as well. As JSU, having successfully defended Mirage, is going to move on up, having seen where this ring is pulling most likely. They're going to have a solid spot to defend, as well as this team in front of them who is poking, likely to get those shields up, of course, not trying to go broke with blues into those final rings, but both teams going to continue the pressure and going to continue to defend as more teams start to flood.
Yeah, I think both teams right now are going to be really happy with their positions. We've seen potential zones land right in front of their feet. They both held a really strong position, able to control much of the map that they're currently staying on, and so the name of the game now changes to farming up those Evo shields. Just as I say that, already the teams starting to move further down through the tracks, perhaps suspecting a better position is up for grabs. They'll rotate all the way down over into Monument here. Meanwhile, now the zone closing in, it shows its true nature, and it seems we are still headed further up north. More so to the left, though, a bit of a surprise pull. Lots of these teams on the edge, they now are going to be facing that crunch.
Yeah, and a number of teams, as you said, they're about to start to feel the heat, not just from the zone, but from other squads. Over on the bottom right, you can already see just how many teams are pinging back and forth for damage and for position. So I expect the squads that haven't quite found the right fights are going to be hoping they really just avoid too much opposition on the way in. We see here Team 18, who certainly has more of a fighting composition, could be fishing for something like a fight, does have the opportunity to maybe set up a keep out, are going to focus on continuing to scale those resources, already sitting on 1 purple shield for their Octane player, which does feel pretty great. Might be going up to close to all purple shields with this grab here. You see the Mirage getting there as well. Solid resource management here thus far. And once again, they have an opportunity to prey on these teams that are starting to break out fights on the southern end of Fragment.
Yeah, it's a very delicate balance for these teams right now. That Pathfinder composition gonna have some fast rotates, but can't really cover mass amounts of distance. So if they do decide to try and poke around these teams that are next to them, might not make it in time for the next ring. And even if they do, there's no telling what's going to be waiting for them on the other side. So many teams now in Monument, all going to have to make a choice as the ring starts to close. 20 seconds here. 2 big clusters over on the edge of the map, and it's all about to break up. I'm suggesting
map right now. Absolutely.
Chaos about to break loose here. Team 20 already feeling the crunch, and that horizon goes down really low. The conduit not able to provide any more shields, giving them that little bit of sustainability. They get shot from the mountains. Goes down to 3, no trade found. Team 2 looking to aggress onto it. Indeed, they were the ones to pick up that kill, and now going to be enjoying the spoils of the war. Spraying, trying to get more damage onto the rest of these players on their surroundings. Out, all players really playing together a big ball of death. They start to move their way up towards these buildings, trying to get to the high ground, get to a better location, more easily defendable. And again, running that Mirage. Such an interesting decision from many of these teams.
Yeah, it seems to be more popular than I would have expected here, as well as a number of Horizons just opting for strong team fight potential. And it's already paying off in a big way. Team 20 has been wiped off the map. And still no real pressure being put onto team number 2 on your screens there. So they're going to continue to mount a push up towards the edge of this zone. That includes Team 17, who just has 1 member left the Vantage running for their lives. And it looks like they will be able to get away and find their way just into the edge of this next zone, perhaps. But that isn't going to be exactly where you want to be when Team 2 is still preying on the edge here. Already so many pings going out. As you can see, there are more kills to claim for Team 2.
Big ultimate being used out, all thrown towards it, trying to desperately manage their way. The Team 2 will find a way to survive. So dominant on this edge, so good at fighting. They take out yet another team. Now moving in, they rotate safe, but what's the next step for them? Not much time to breathe as the ring heads further up north, and team still around them, still their position. That EMP going to do a lot for them. Smokes to come out, trying to block it. Smokes and mirrors. The Bangalore taken down so low, but bobbing and weaving, they managed to find a safe position. Hiding among these rocks, but surely the team shooting towards them, beady-eyed, has to know that they're low and has to be watching them with great interest. All backed into a corner here. A little path, a little escape route on the corner. Let them slither away, and meanwhile this team 18, we said they were going to be really good at fighting. We said the name of the game is to fight, and now when you go down, what's your response? Mirage coming up big, a huge spray. DK now in hand, but not expecting the other player, falls down from the side. Horizon, though, able to get her battery online. Now might do big damage, spraying through a duel with the Pathfinder, but it's the Pathfinder to win it out. 1 remaining. Bangalore hits that big shot, gets a good knock, but not expecting the other Pathfinder's position. Team will fall. Valiant effort on the edge. And I believe, yep, once again, Team 18 looking good for a reset, but not looking good in terms of time. The crunch of that zone must be felt. 30 seconds to loot up, suit up, and then you have to go.
And we did get to see a peek here at the map. It's actually not too bad. That's exactly what they needed to do there, is clear out the edge. Now they get effectively a free walk-up as multiple teams start to kick off fights on this southern edge of Skyhook. Team 12 taking out Team 9 on their way into this building. They've also gotten a little bit of a vantage point on this next zone. They can actually just walk up. Not a lot to contest. And this is the thing about Skyhook zones. There's a lot of room to play, but in the end game, it gets incredibly messy. Already, we're seeing a mess. Team 14 in a scuffle of their own, trying to find the hip fire, but not going to be enough. Team 13, with a member down, is going to clean this one up.
Yeah, and how did we end up in Skyhook? Initially, the zone looked to be pulling towards Mirage. Skyhook was an option, perhaps not on these teams' minds initially, and now having to rotate in, not all of these positions that we have the luxury of thinking these teams will be liking to play in Skyhook can actually be reached. And so many teams forced to battle for these edge spots, and that's why 13 squads remaining as round 4 comes in. Gibby play over on the edge. They'll be able to try to go for this res here, seeing 13. They'll be able to get it, but what comes after that? Already being fired towards, already shields being cracked, but they managed to make it back inside of their building.
And didn't even have to burn the ultimate there, which is really solid. So they still get to hold on to that for the next ring or the next push as well. Great resource management from them. It's going to feel really, really solid, especially when you also share a Kraber amongst your team. There's still a lot of damage to be done. Beautiful shot from Donra, already showing just how dangerous that weapon can be in the end game.
Controlling these sight lines, having this height advantage, it's going to be dangerous. And already he lines up another shot, sees his breath, takes his aim, but shot from the side, opts not to go for it. In the meantime, though, other teams not so fortunate, finding themselves in the worst position, struggling for scraps. They all fall. We're down to our top 10 teams, and it seems like as these zones start closing further, more carnage is to come out on this edge here. Playing this position just on the side of the fire. I believe that's their own fuse out in fact. Now having to find a way to get out of it, rotate in, finding a better position, but being shot from everybody. They take the bottom of the team. They take the bottom of the Kraber team, the Gibby team, taking the bottom out, and now trying to get a reset. But already it's being noted, already they were firing down, and already they're going to feel the crunch. One remaining, the fuse forced to scamper away, trying to play desperately for his placement points.
And that's
the rest
unfortunate.
Of his team picked up.
I hate to see it. I think part of me would have liked to see them actually play those fences a little bit longer. Instead, they try to force their way into this building that was already pretty well cemented by a Gibraltar team. So that is a tough team to just run on over. And now they're going to end up in that position anyway. It's actually going to be Team 1 on your screens who is feeling like the team to beat right now as they continue to exert pressure and continue to hold a fantastic spot here. It's not going to be in the next zone, but it is going to open up a number of options for the walk-up, and having one of the only Gibbies in this lobby is going to mean so much. Once they finally get close to this end zone, that bubble is going to make a massive difference, and that ultimate still in hand for Tenzi, ready to go, ready to activate whenever it is most necessary. And they're still putting on the heat. You can see the teams that are down below realize they have quite a walk up to make as the zone has pulled hard towards the north of the edge of the zone, and they don't really have any sort of reposition character to make this one happen. They're going to have to use these smokes incredibly wisely, maybe an EMP to combo with that to slow down the pressure, to impede the sight lines and give themselves a little bit of space to work with.
This team using that crypto drone, gonna spot out a lot of players, sussing out a location, trying to find a place to play in the next zone. It's a game of guts, it's a game of chicken here. It's everyone trying to claim a piece of the pie. Ooh, big swing out from the Bloodhound Team 1. Almost going down, almost losing that advantageous position, but still they'll get over the fence. Now, guns trained over towards the other team. They found their way into the zone, found a great spot to play. Now, how much damage can they do? How disruptive can they be to the rest of these teams? Team 12, Steer, being pressured. Spitfire will spray down at that door, but he looks like he's living on bot time. Arc starts to force him out, nading through. He's going to have to do a lot if he wants to stay alive here. Getting pressured by 3 teams, sprinting out, but those spikes just stopping that movement. He will fall, unable to get away, going out in 8th place. And now this team that's taken that position, are they safe in zone? Seems like it.
They are. SJSU has picked up a really fantastic spot and cleared out the one rat that was spelling some trouble for them. Team 19 not so fortunate, gonna eat a grenade for their troubles as well. Deputy Duke gonna go down. and Striker going to follow suit shortly after. It is SJSU that is ensuring that their spot is completely unbothered by any of these squats on the edge of the map. You can see across the way, likely Team 1 going to be the ones that are holding it down with this Gibby bubble and actually going to be able to loop up before this next ring even starts to close. Triple reds for them, and Kraber with 6 shots still in the chamber, ready to cause some damage for real. If this gets a solid headshot or maybe a knock in this end game, that could be a game winner for them. We will just have to wait and see. Team 7 setting up defenses in a spot that will shortly be unviable as well. So their game plan needs to be really solid here. Maybe look for a third party. Hope that these teams have to engage so that they can swoop in and take a win of their own.
4 teams remaining. The last few seconds of the final ring come down, ticking down. Make your decision, make it right. Cross your fingers and hope to all Apex gods that you have made the right call. Final zone now closing in. You'd have to think that this team over here, Team 7, they're probably going to have to be the ones to make an action first. Holding on to a really strong position here, they look to train their sights over towards the Rat, Team 1. Indeed, already trying to find his location, trying to get that little bit of damage, running the same push. Team 1 have managed to work their way up off the back of that Diddy bubble. Now they have it recharged again. It's going to be big in the end game. Good piece of damage, 33, opening up a little bit of the fight, and that seems to be enough incentive to want to push in. Stalled out by those catalyst walls, though. Searching for anyone wants to head. Do not overheat. Do not swing out, or you might just lose your life. In the meantime, though, taking all this position in the back, they are letting these 2 teams fight up here. A master class in the macro, and it looks to pay off. And he's getting incredibly low. Now we have to go for the battery. All teams need to reset. That Watson still on the outside ratting, trying desperately to play full position. Kimbo's hands, P2020. It's P on top, being pressured, but they know that they have luxury to push in whenever. Still the Rat survives, holding out on this outside position. You'd say they have the best position in the map right now, but what does that matter when you're getting pressured and it's 3-on-1, the Gibby bubble mentioned early. Trying to hold on to this position, and a huge no-scope, 1.2 eliminated, pushing forward even further, looking for these fights. Genre, no scoping like a maniac, not going to be able to do it. The Team 1 managed to clean it up. The first round will go to them. What a dominant showing. This is the Goliath of our show right now. They were dominant in scrims, dominant all over in the group stage, and once again, they flexed their muscles in map 1.
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
solid win from them. And yeah, like we were saying, right? The fact that they were the last team, one of the very last teams rocking that Gibby meant that they were going to be able to wait probably the longest out of anyone and force the final squads to engage instead of them. And it actually didn't even look like they had to put down that defensive bombardment to win out the game. It was just like a win more situation for them. So great job from them playing the outside of the building as well, as you noted. Just kind of poking, right? Making sure that they were maintaining pressure in that building just long enough for the rest of the squads to push into each other. Perfect execution there. Fantastic win from them with some kills to boot. So they're going to be feeling absolutely fantastic after that game.
Yeah, I mean, they played that so well. That Gibby composition going to be so oppressive in the end game. The main issue at the beginning was just whether or not they could hold down their building. No defense, no real Watson, no catalyst, nothing to really hold it down, but they executed pretty flawlessly. I mean, that Kraber was really singing in that area, just making sure that they're able to stop teams from taking the chance on aggressing onto them. And if they did, like that team that we saw earlier on, team fighting capabilities so well, the nade spam, the swing together, and it ultimately accumulates in a pretty beautiful win.
Yeah, fantastic work for them. Game 1 has been wrapped up. Before we get flying into game number 2, of course, we got to thank a number of people, a number of sponsors that are helping to make this show a reality and to make it as awesome as it has been so far. So we want to, of course, thank ZOTAC Gaming. It is going to be our primary sponsor for this Apex Legends final. There is, I believe, still a giveaway going on, and the tournament winner will be taking home a ZOTAC Gaming swag kit, which is super, super sick. Again, thanks to ZOTAC for sponsoring the Summer Splash for 2024. Really appreciate them. If you want to learn more about ZOTAC and what they got going on, make sure you type in !ZOTAC in the chat. Thanks to ZOTAC for helping us to make this just an awesome event so far, an awesome lobby so far. 1 game down and 5 more awesome ones hopefully to go.
And game 2 already on the horizon. Our teams locking in their characters once again. Non-stop action on this Sunday night. We're kicking us off map 2 to start very, very soon. And the back of my mind, I think I just saw in the character selection a Revenant.
Oh baby, yeah, we actually saw quite a variety of character selects there, which I was pretty excited to see. We saw some really aggressive comms, combining the Pathfinder with the Octane and just going full aggro. I think even a Horizon on that squad as well. Lots of Horizon. We've even seen some Newcastles. I mean, we're seeing the winning team taking it down with a Gibraltar, which is super underrated pick right now, in my opinion, though. Of course, lots of crypto running around as well to potentially counter that, though we didn't quite see that in the end game. It is still absolutely a risk and a serious threat for these squads. So we'll have to wait and see. Even Advantage as well, which is another character that you don't see picked very often. We saw a number of teams rocking that. So lots of variety, lots of things that you're going to have to play around if you want to take down these games.
Mirage Chua once again. This team, they've landed here last time, had to fight a little bit to really secure their position, and it seems this time just the same old story. Another team on the ship with them. It's Mirage trying to find position, spots out 2, gets a good spam, gets a crack, and so initial early damage, but seemingly the rest of his team not interested, and so they'll back off, get that early damage. Now uninterested in the fight any longer, take the zip over towards Grandma's house.
In the meanwhile, we did see Team 10 get taken out, eliminated, and I believe that was by our Game 1 winners. I believe I saw in the kill feed there, Midzi and Parka doing work. So they're already taking names. They are already claiming spots early in this game, just trying to get further ahead. Remember, y'all, 6 games that we've got today. The top scoring team will be taking down all of it. So it is all about the win right now. It's about racking every single point that you can up, whether it be via kills or by that
solo. The Revenant's a solo. Where's this team? Wonder what happened to them, but
no.
Well, is this a scrims moment?
Let's go over there.
Whatever. Able to get out, get some nice damage, but ultimately, as a solo, what more can you do? Repositions, trying to get any little bit more chip damage done. I'm so confused. Gonna get cracked down to, 75 health. Not much shields to work around, popping those last few cells. He does have some good guns, though, to work around with. A Hemlock Volt could be putting in the damage, but as the action takes place in other areas, the rest of the team seeing these circles going to start to rotate.
And I have to say, last game, we did see some pretty slow rotating, even from teams that had what you could easily consider zone, hard rotate POIs, and definitely hard rotate compositions. So expecting to see them hopefully move a little bit faster right now. The squad's definitely moving off the map a little bit faster, as Team 20 solo is going to get taken out. Team 11 claiming 1 KP for their troubles. Not going to feel too bad about that one either.
Big fight here, really in the center of the map. Team 15 find themselves on the opposite end now on that exact situation. Roberts, 1 versus 3, does a lot of damage, but ultimately too many guns trained towards him. Too many bullets sprayed. He will fall. Team 15 eliminated. Team 18 pick up their KP. And once again, this is the team running that Octane, running that Mirage Pathfinder. Such a wacky composition to play to your strengths. And their strength right now definitely seems to be their team fighting capabilities. Not to be outdone though on the rest of the map, lots of areas. Team 6, right nearby, might be able to push in and aggress onto them if they so desire. Still early days in the map. Now, this team still continue to make their way up north to rotate into the next zone.
Locate the server beacon over there.
You can see that this one has pulled pretty nicely towards the middle, depending, well, could be nice for you if you were there earlier. Some of these other squads that are already starting to get picked apart a little bit by damage, or rather engaging full on and doing the picking apart themselves. Gonna find just a number of clones there. Bit of a bamboozle situation as Team 11 has really barreled in full commit with that zip line, but not gonna find any additional victims other than the one knock they were able to take out. It's going to be one number down for MNK, and in the meanwhile, Team 4 has actually been taken out as well, so that is going to thin out the herd even more. Much faster game this time around, as teams have decided they are just going full aggro here, going to hunt for those kills. Instead of turtling up in zone, they're just going to take matters into their own hands.
Here's real. It's messy, it's brawling, it's bloody, but these teams, this is how they operate, this is how they fight. Ready, another fight breaking out. Team 17 just wants more and more of this action. Already some KP to their name, I believe, from earlier. Now, repositioning the Vantage, using their ability to reconnect with the rest of their team. It's going to be Team 16 looking at them. This composition favoring the more tertiary gameplay, the more tertiary style of combat, and so they'll want to hold on to this house. But as the team starts to move away, perhaps incentivized, might just start pushing up, collect this Evo cash, get their armor flowing one step closer to purple Evo shields. As the ring, where do you think it's going, Melo?
We can already see that it is pretty well centered on this monument spot, and this is a fantastic place for a team. Like, I believe that to be 1330, or oh, that's actually going to be Elite. Good one. They got me once before. They're not going to get me again. That's going to be Elite, who is already well into this monument section. This is a pretty great spot to defend unless you see it pull like something towards a sniper tower up north above the landslide, but I think very solid defensible spot. There are a number of endings that are going to end right on top of these buildings, specifically right over towards the west where those little walls are and the little trenches. So all of these Watson squads that are sitting here early are going to be plenty happy with their position, I anticipate, but they have to continue to poke. 30-30 in hand is going to do some of that work to make sure that they're not walking into this final zone with white shields, because that does turn into quite of an uphill battle. Try and take down some of the edge teams that are walking in with purples and even some reds, as we saw in the case of our winning team from the last game. So great spot to be in, but they have to stay proactive and they have to be sure that they're able to defend, especially as more teams start to flood in. The pressure is going to get even higher, and honestly, the playable space is going to decrease as well.
Just you say that, so many teams leading by example. Team 14 in a world of hurt as the angles just not favoring them, getting poked by that charge rifle from all around. They better start farming up those evos fast, because teams are starting to move in towards the zone. Team 17 now, the Vantage team, walking in, trying to aggress onto this grandma's house. Get the smokes down, misses the window though, so still a window of opportunity for the other team. But just passing by, decide not to aggress even further, looking to once again pick up these Evo caches. But they're rotate, they're going to have to keep this team in mind as they get further into the zone, playing around them, or rather, potentially playing with them, if it favors both teams. We'll have to see how they decide to work and manage as the ring starts to close. In the meantime, though, another big fight here over towards tracks. Seer already invested. These teams want information. They look to aggress for a fight. Playing slow, looking for poke damage. That's a good nade. Forcing them out of here. Stalling out that position. But this team, Team 9, down here, that Seer ult's going to attract a lot of attention. And already you see guns starting to be trained towards them. Positioning players on the side, looking hungry, swimming around like sharks. Yeah, that's Jack's Tickle Monster somewhere in the distance. Might just be able to make something work, but the team in tracks actually nowhere to be found anymore. They've rotated over to this right side, leaning more towards that Skyhook area. They look to push through this choke point. Crypto ult going to be used on Team 9 down the bottom. That's going to cause a Bangalore ult as response, trying to push away the team, disincentivize them from aping onto their position, and it seems to have worked so far. No one else really interested in going for this. Team 3 hold on to a position, not just for this zone, but the one next, and they have no interest in giving it up.
Yeah, and I wouldn't anticipate they would want to give this up, even towards this end game where they have a whole bunch of information on where teams are and perhaps more importantly, where teams aren't, where these open spots are going to be playable a little bit later. And they're continuing to just maintain a presence even from far away. These teams know that they're being watched and likely to be aggressed on at any point if they lose a little bit too much health or maybe get knocked by a stray shot from a sniper or even a Kraber if those start to become a factor in play. So I love the pressure here from Dang Zero, and this is going to be a great spot for them to play out of. I have to say that's going to be Team 9 CSUF. They're not in a horrible spot, but they do have to start thinking about where they're going to walk up next. And the playable spots are starting to become far and few between, whereas the angles that they're getting shot from are just increasing.
Horizon taken down to just 1 health, but able to stay alive. Other teams, the only Filthy not as lucky. Team 5, Team 8, Team 17, all respectively going down. These fights are breaking out all over the map. Landslide now. Find your team looking above. This inevitably looking pressure. This team on the top, high ground, ultimate high ground, getting pressured right now. It's Zoro City Tensei Dharma. This is the winning team from last round, and now they've already lost 1 player, and getting pressured might potentially lose even a few more. The bubble already used. Tenses in the wall to hurt. Zoro needs to get in there and try and help the rest of the team. Zooming in, able to get 2 big pumps, but cannot close it out. Team 11 to be the one to eliminate them. And my god, that was well played.
No clutch to be found there. It's not over till it's over, especially from a team that's able to win lobbies like this. And that Gibby bubble made it look close. But in the end, they do get eliminated. So we will not see a run back from UCSD. We will have a new winner for game number 2. And now we have to start to involve some teams like Dang Zero, who could be in the conversation for these game-winning plays. They hold the north side, but there are a number of squads that are still going to continue to pressure. It's going to be Jorkin, who does find an opening knock onto this squad, and you see CSUF finally having to walk forward, will be ultimately eliminated, not able to get out of those train tracks, and it's going to be Jorkin that takes them out. Round 3 about to start closing, and we've already gone down to 10 squads. Significantly emptier game than what we saw in game number 1, which means the power positions are going to be that much more important for closing this one out.
Yeah, and on the other hand, glass half full, glass half empty. Less players means less KP, but also means more positions for you to play, easier zone to navigate, and that might allow you to pick up some more placement points. Now, as the ring starts to close, Team 3 here on our screens, good position, just looking to poke in for damage, looking to make things hard for other teams. Said Team 2 so far, they've been dominant, they got a lot of KP, but a lot of guns trained onto them, lots of eyes watching over, taking damage, but finding a safe position on top of this rock. They look over the entire map, but they're going to have to move the zone basically directly opposite from them, and it seems to pull in more so towards these buildings.
There it is. It's going to be that west of Monument section, a little bit further out, actually playing over towards the cliffs instead of the little trenches with the stairs. But no matter for teams like the one on your screen right now, Elite has a very solid position holding sort of composition, but now they're forced to walk forward. So might have misspoken here. They do have quite a bit to worry about, especially as I see a number of red shields in front of them. Will they run into one of these squads? It looks like they will not.
Hello?
Is that a friendly?
Hello?
I don't know. They got away that one, but they're going to be able to take this bottom building at least. Maybe just I think it's a spectator bug, and so we're just going to see Lee here going to be able to set up, does get the walk up, does get to cement their spot once again, get a foothold. It is an enemy team. It's such a beautiful spray from Blackout.
Done that might be able to stop a little bit longer, but already the damage has been done already in a good position. C14 looking to aggress even further. They might be coming up to the rest of the lobby to start pushing into this, breaking down these catalyst doors, trying to find her angles, poking, prodding. Has gone a little bit of a flame. Not going to be able to find anything though, and toss the rest of the team back to Blackout to one to go for a big fight. Does a lot of damage, trading it out. Good job while you're on blue shields, and able to get away safely back in his position, regenerating off that watch and seal. Now it's Caren delivering the final blow, the dagger in the back. Gets a lot of damage, but still the job unable to be finished. Back until life comes through. Good damage being done. 2 knocks now, one last player in here. They have played this so well and now looking to reap their reward.
Wow.
Indeed they do. Team 6 fall. And Team 14, off the back of that, are going to get a ton of loot and a great position in the zone.
What a push from Leet there, and that was so critical because they were at such a severe shield disadvantage when they started to fight, mind you. They walked in with 3 blues, and they're leaving with 2 purples and a red against the team that also had a Watson, to match their defensive capability. So the fact that they found that initial knock, they found the angles that they needed, perfect way to keep themselves in this game, and now they might be one of the contenders for winning it if they can continue to defend against the other squads that are quickly running out of space and running out of time to walk in as well.
Just as quickly, Team 2, the duo, now taking the position of their team next one's good. They managed to rotate in from all that far side, but losing a player in this position. Now just looking to play big, looking to bluff that they are a trio, a pull trio. You do not want to push into us, please. They'll be able to hold that side, but as the glass window shows, betraying their position. Potentially just might be incentive to push, and as damage comes in from the back, that's going to be enough. Making sure, trying to stabilize this position. Parksa, no push coming through. These teams just playing it patient, playing it cool, but the ring will always come, and in 30 seconds, there's going to have to be some movement. Team 14 making the move, going early, using this catalyst wall to their advantage. Not needing to pop it just yet. They get by, getting in behind these fences, but still a little ways to go. Still need to push in that little bit further, and against these mountains, it's going to be so difficult to find angles that are safe. All of them able though, however, finding a little corner, but all sucked up in the same area. Blackout goes down to literally 1 HP, and that's enough to be able to push it onto them. He gets him done. The knives he's putting damage in, he's putting in the work. Able to attack the first. The spray is good to bring the second down to really low, but now getting stopped on the grenade, everything, keep all. Caren, the last to do it. Sprinting up, trying to find a better position. He's just slipped away from the fight. Still being shot in from the back, still being noted, and yep, not long for this world. Team 14, a good run, a great attempt, but they will fall.
We're down to our top 5 here. We're going to see Dang Zero continuing to pressure on. They did lose one respawn, having timed out quite a while ago, and yet they remain here in one of the most defensible spots. They still have a Watson. They're still rocking at least a couple of boxes worth of loot that they can continue to absorb, but you can already start to see I might have spoken a little bit too soon, as this ring is pulling up toward the center rock, which means their playable space will quickly dwindle. And on your screens you see it there, one of the members of RIT and their crew is going to be sitting on that top rock. Plenty of vantage to put the aggression onto these squads that still don't have a spot. It's going to be Jack's favorite over here on the eastern edge, trying to throw grenades, trying to do whatever they can to find the right damage. No ultimate available for misplay, so they don't even have the rolling thunder to be able to aggress and get that team off of their vantage point. This is going to be a tough walk up for all of these squads as we slowly close in. 15 seconds left before this final zone closes.
Damage being done, everyone popping their last bit of meds as the ring starts to close. Who will move first? Who will have to take that first initial plunge? Seems to be Team 3. They walk up, not being noted by Team 12. Team 12 being caught sleeping at the wheel and potentially a safer position being found here for Team 3. So much to worry about, holding on, having to control this incredible position left and right, so many things to watch for, and things are starting to slip away. But a good kill onto Team 3. Team 3 losing out one of their members, and that's enough for them to focus more of their resources onto Team 13 here. Now on that low ground. Still alive though, Team 3 might just potentially play a big part in determining who comes in first in this zone. Crypto gonna be caught, but as the swing comes through onto the right, still managing to stay alive though. Managing Chu just at the final moment. Gonna be a nuisance for both of these teams now, but seemingly favoring that of Team 13. Team 13 now walking up. They've taken this aggressive position. They're going for a big fight, and indeed, the fight to determine who gets first place potentially on the cards here. Lots of damage being taken by Team 12, but still all healthy, still have their knock, and Jack Pickle Monster going big with those moves, and Beast but cannot just land the final hit. Crazy now, last one alive versus HP, and now Team 3 looking to aggress, looking to
hit fire
so that they can get their second place. Watson Fence is coming down, but cannot be able to land that last kill. Team 12 will come in for the cleanup, and they managed to take map 2.
Yeah, solid work from them. I mean, we saw where they were sitting as we got down to our final 3. It was really just about making sure that they prevented these squads from getting a free walk-up that could turn into a third-partyable fight. And as you mentioned, we did have one solo that could have spelled disaster for the squad, but it didn't quite matter. And as the final walk-up from Jack's favorite came on in, it was just too late. And it was too much defensive positioning, too much defensive posturing from LB Town, and quick cleanup from them. So that is a very difficult zone to try and survive into the end game, but they did it fantastically there. And yeah, no real notes for them. I think they did a fantastic job. Didn't see just how many kills they ended up with, but great way to close out game number 2.
And also that game, the lack of a sponge. I mean, we saw a new winner. We saw Team 1, the winner of last game, go out pretty early, and that's going to definitely shake up the leaderboards. No one establishing a really big lead here coming into the first 2 maps. Still anyone's game to be able to go home and win that prize of the ZOTAC Gaming Swag Kits. Thank you to our sponsor once again. Yeah, so far, looking good from these teams. It's been aggressive. I do wonder, though, as so many teams are starting to play over towards that edge play style, how do you think that's going to fare out in these next few games? Do you think we'll start to see teams vary into a more zone-type play style, focusing on those placements?
I would definitely like to see that, just based on the number of sort of bunker characters that I've seen on a number of teams. It isn't a requirement by any means, but I think especially in a lobby like this where people are willing to just take fights, even if the fight selection isn't precisely the best, right? We do see a lot of quote unquote edge, but not necessarily edge play in terms of taking good fights and advancing your position as well as your loot while getting those kills. So I think all teams need to review their game plan just a touch here, and be sure that they're playing to their strengths. I think that's going to be really important, especially with how much variety in styles of gameplay as well as compositions and things like this, where you really know where your team excels and how you're going to be able to squeeze out the most points. So that's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Though, of course, it seems like these teams love to fight, and they might just continue to do exactly that.
Yep, last rounds here. Make your final adjustments. It's the last time we're going to see in World's Edge. After this, moving on to Storm Point. These teams looking to end strong, looking to make a final statement here, and seeking for potentially the 3rd win in this map.
Nice northern pathing here, north to south for this dropship. Not too shabby. Nice and balanced as well, so no team's going to have too hard of a time getting to their POIs. We're going to close this one out. We've been to the north. We've been right towards the middle. I think it would be a solid little bit of service from the Apex gods to give us something down south, maybe something over towards the dome. Doesn't have to go that far, but just a little something different for us to check on out and give some different teams an opportunity to play to their strengths, play to their composition, and have an opportunity to play that hard zone style that I think could be incredibly profitable. But of course, starting off with a contest as per usual, we're going to get to see just who wins this one out from the MUH. Gonna do the early damage, but taking a lot of damage to trade in as well. That's going to be just a fight into the lava, straight up, Char down to just a sliver of health. Going to try and rip this shield cell as the teammates start to walk on in and help finish the fight.
Actually, and they're actually still managed to draw first blood, but traded out. Very nice positions being held here by Team 12. Notes the areas of both of these teams, but from the far side, another kill comes in. Is that a third-party ice mel? Team 2 looking to get in on the action here as Jack, not much longer for this one, gets eliminated. Indeed, it's Team 2, and ooh, it's getting spicy out here.
Yeah, putting on the disrespect might as well, and they're likely to claim the rest of this other team as well. It's going to be from the MUH, going straight to the mud indeed. Sent there by jorking it. Our Team 2 here, that's done pretty solid in their fighting early for sure, but it looks like they're not the only ones that were smelling blood in the water. We've got CSUF taking a little bit of interest here, maybe swooping in for a piece of this themselves, and they're full committing to the flight in. I think there is going to be a full reset and a full loot up from jorking it though, so this would be a straight up 3v3 on the northern edge of this map. It looks like they haven't been spotted. That's going to be 3 damage for Syndicate, and the knock does come through for Kinda Gifted.
It's 3v2, and already looking at these positions, lines up that shot. Sentinel could be big, just goes a little bit wide. Team 9 though, they have the advantage and already looking to press onto it, not allowing the rest to come through, getting that kill. 3 on 2 now. Looking, searching for anyone else that could potentially be around here. Then realize there's only one in the lava, going to turn all their guns towards him. Really low. Crack almost forming through, and Mirage trying to be throwing a little bit of an illusion, but instantly spotted out. So manages to get that first one. The Syndicate though ties it all up, but yep, the trade already there, good for it. A res now coming out. Can they find a way to disrupt it? Does not seem to be able to. Res coming through, that thirst onto the Mirage, and yep, Parksa. Karma has a funny way of coming around, forced to back off, forced to move all the way towards the north side of the map, and that's bad for them, looking at where the zone's heading.
Yeah, absolutely punished for that greed there a little bit. Just not even remotely prepared for another team to match them on that rotate. So they're going to be down to a solo, and no support character means no easy way to get them back. We're going to check on over towards Rack City, who is in a solid fight of their own. They're going to be losing the first in this trade so far. Nice hit fire though from SJSU. Is going to start this to make this look pretty one-sided, only having lost their Watson. Looks like the res is going to come through as their opponents have made a run for it.
Forced to use the finisher to get himself back in. Not pounding through, get me back in. It's going to go through. He gets it. Team 11 forced to run away. Yep, that's truth. The other side of the map, really sprinting away. He might be able to use those desires. Does have the ability to craft them as well. So still down but not out. Team fighting as well over the map. Team 15 and a big knock coming through, losing out on that bloodhound. Desperate loss of information here, as once again it's this brawling comp. The Octane, Mirage, Pathfinder sprinting in, managing to find the first. They play it chill though, biding their time, now deciding it's the opportune moment to strike as the kill feed begins to light up with kills all around the map. Floof trying to find a player, will be able to spot one out. That's his teammate, now knows where the action's headed and sprinting towards it like a man possessed. Damage tick from that Thermite onto Mexi Scream, swinging out. That Pathfinder zip straight out of there, but more players to be found. Still having to fight. Involved. Thinking damage was stopped a little bit by that frag grenade. Now with the clips, trying to come in with the damage, but unable to get that kill. Just so close, and in the blink of an eye, the rest of his teammates all falling down, and he's forced to run away to wonder where it all went so wrong. Mexican doesn't want to give him the opportunity to breathe, already fast in the chase. The Pathfinder grapple to get past, but ultimately missing it. We're going to have to use that ultimate to get back out.
Oh, there's another team joining the fray, and that's going to be the knock already.
God, that knock up speed. Now the second one goes down. Smexicream not caring for his behind, and now he finds the one, just mirroring what Floof did mere seconds ago, running away. It's Team 16 to pepper bullets down. Certainly too far away, but the Pathfinder also aggressive and also falls into the level. What is happening? Somehow finds a kill in there. He gets some nice KP, I suppose.
Oh man, what a mess. Just a mess of zip lines left and right, and none of them seeming to go the right direction. Doesn't quite matter for Castle Crashers. They have successfully crashed this castle, and they hold a spot nice and central towards the zone, though, as you can see from a number of teams having already rotated their way in. We're going to be posturing over towards this lava siphon, and specifically could be an ending over towards that sort of center east portion where 3 to 4 teams around the bridge have already sort of taken an early residence. MNK for writing emails. Our game 1 winners, UCSD, also starting to make their way in. And once again, have to highlight that they are rocking that Gibraltar, which is fantastic for the team fights. Paired with Donra's Horizon, they could do some serious damage here. But already they found themselves in a pretty solid spot to find a walk-in a little bit later, especially if we do see an unexpected counter pull. Lava Siphon going to be a great spot to defend. Not the most defensive characters in their arsenal, of course, but sometimes damage is the best defense for them. So they're going to continue to poke and prod and prevent teams from walking in for free.
Love how the teams as well are also starting to adapt here. So many more teams playing the zone. 16 spots alive in round 2. As the ring closes, much different tune from what we were singing in that earlier 2 games. As teams now starting to move in further toward Lava Siphon. Team 3 going to fly out a lot of players. This crypto drone giving them valuable information about where they can and cannot play. Spotted out though, still bobbing and weaving. Somehow manages to dodge away. Now scouting out towards areas further to the edge of the map. This crypto's giving so much information to his team. They're going to be able to know which spots they have to worry about, where they can just ignore for the time being. It allows them, most crucially, when the ring starts to close in, to figure out what's free to play.
A number of teams have already placed their bets on either one side of this situation or slightly towards the other, as those edge buildings have already been taken up and sort of bunkered out by a number of squads. So we're going to tune into the edge of our fighting over here towards No Name, where it does appear that Jorking has made a return, actually, and are now claiming another set of victims. It's going to be another knockdown for them. Medzi, the only one that's really had any sort of pressure exerted, and is going to get the knock, but at what cost? There is going to be a stray grenade that's going to catch out the Mirage. The follow-up might not be there. It looks like the reset will be, and they're going to get a couple of moments to clean this one up. We'll be able to actually just get this lead for free, as no other contest. That straight grenade seeming to have come from possibly their own hand. I'm not exactly sure, but Jorking is still well in this. That third party earlier in the game seems to not have taken them anywhere near out of this game. They are still in it and looking to take down teams on their way towards what I think would be a pretty immense comeback for them.
Such a big fight here. These two teams sharing a building, neither one really happy with their neighbors, going to have to file a complaint, but instead it's Team 11 to be evicted. The newcomers to the scene, forced to play one of these side buildings. They'll all be able to get in, but resources depleted, might not even be able to get all the way up to full health. Team 3 peppering shots, and they find a first kill. Now a knock attempting to come through. That Newcastle going to try to use that shield, but already the pressure's coming in. Team 3, they smell blood, and they want to finish this off. First. Simple 20-20 shots, able to come up big though, cleans up the fight, makes it so it doesn't matter. still teams around them have to be worried about potentially a third party. This reset coming in fast, and it seems they'll be safe for now.
And it looks
Push
like
comes to shove, desperation from many of these teams trying to have to push into these areas, and well, Team 14, they've done good so far to be able to hold on to that spot.
yeah, there's going to be a number of squads that are going to be very happy to see this pull. And once again, I think there was a solid call out from a number of squads, specifically the ones on the eastern edge who, while they might not get a spot in the next zone, they're going to have an opportunity to walk up, and they're going to be actually aided by the teams in the center who are just going to have way too many angles to hold. You can already see on your screen our game one winners not even sure where to look to try and exert the right amount of damage, and they're getting poked back by fuses and the like, still sitting on triple blues as well. Not going to be a fantastic situation from them, so we'll have to wait and see if they're forced to walk out of this position or if they get a little bit lucky here and the ring gods give them a little bit of a defensive spot that they can continue to poke from. Team 17, meanwhile, it's going to be north on the south, and they're going to get a res here. Full 3 strong going into this next close, unless another squad from below is wanting to prevent it.
Team 17 having 2 quiet games so far, now needs something big, but already getting pressured, forced into this position that we saw a team die from earlier on. That was Team 11, I believe. Still able to get in, able to get that res, and now the rest of the team relocate, playing with that Bangalore. Indeed, they're all able to get through. No shots being fired, slips by unnoticed, and now they hold a really strong position. At least safe for the time being, but a need to move into this next zone. The ring starting to close in fast, teams on the edge starting to feel this crunch. Team 14 now safely in the ring. You win a crucial fight earlier on, and now might be rewarded some potential AP for it. Looking over towards the rest of the lobby, scrambling in, trying to find positions to play, and a target spotted. It's the Horizon spam coming through. Only a little bit of damage done initially, and now they look to hunt for another victim, but none show themselves, none give the opportunity. So now the ring closes in, 13 squads still remaining.
And these northernmost buildings are starting to crash a little bit, at least the rotations into them starting to get a little bit dicey. We see for the boys trying to fend off these attackers from the outside. They don't have the best setup from a fence perspective, a little bit weak, and they're seemingly having to place them bit by bit as that cooldown comes up. All I really see is 2 doors covered and not a whole lot of the rest of the building really stopping teams like Jack's favorite from walking in with triple reds, mind you. And they don't even have to do this. They have their zip line available as well if they wanted to make a quick reposition instead of preying on this team below them. That is certainly an option. And I think that's something that for the boys would certainly prefer here as they continue to try to set up a defensive position, but it is outside of zone. So the walk-up will eventually be forced about 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer as they wait for the ring to reach them and overtake them. What will they do? That is the question, as we do see it is a pull over towards the crane, over towards the bridge spot, and all of these squads that are on the west side of Siphon starting to book it, realizing that if they want to find themselves in a top 5 or even top 3 position, they got to get schmovin', and they got to hope that the teams in front of them are going to let them pass for free.
So much tension here. All it needs a little spark and an inferno to form. So many teams might just die as this ring closes. The repercussions of that ring pre-close still being felt. So many players dying, so many duos on this map. Team 5 have done well of themselves to be able to take that gondola, got a little bit hairy earlier on, but at least they're in. Now some breathing room. Team 14 always holding on to this position. Going to have to note that they're not the only players playing inside of Siphon. Team still, though, holding on to a strong position, trying to see anyone, but it seems everyone's already found a spot in zone. Everyone's safe in the meanwhile, but that doesn't mean that angles aren't available. Teams aren't itching for a fight. Triple red, Team 13, that crypto spotting things out. No ult available, but still might just provide enough information to push the go button. But on the meantime, it's the other side of the map where things are really starting to heat up. Team 13 now making their move, making a rotate in. They want to aggress onto Team 2 here. Getting shot from the side might have just given Team 2 a bit of a warning. Now, pushing their aggression, moving in. They hold on to this angle. Now they're going to be the ones that are able to aggress and choose when to peek these other teams. Holding up, really aggressive here. Spotted out. Is this position playable? Can they keep and staying alive here?
Yeah, and the
Thanks
fact
for
that they can
them.
hold all the space is crazy. I mean, they got the information from the crypto, and instead of going too crazy and aggressing, they actually do sort of a two-pronged approach here where they're able to hold this wall, which is easily defendable, not a lot of sight lines that can pressure them. And once the zone starts to close, they actually get to play the crane because of the way that they have set up this zip. So they have set themselves up for success in pretty much every way possible with this composition. They utilize the zip line to get that positioning. They're going to have this rolling thunder as well as the smokes to prevent these sight lines from getting to them. And the crypto continues to collect information. And based on the number of ultic cells that we're seeing popped here, is going to have an EMP available. Maybe not for this next walk up that is going to force so many teams to crash into each other, but certainly for the end game where they're going to look for that game winning play, and it's likely going to be off the top of the crane.
So many teams still alive, this map being drawn out to its absolute limits, but now as the zone really starts to shrink, so many teams feeling the crunch. Team 14, they were safe for so long, now forced to move. Team 2 down at the bottom here, now going to aggressive our team that we were just talking about, make that rotation. How are they going to deal with this? Azimbo trying to find any damage here on that Mozambique, able to come up with 30, but so much damage being taken. The Pathfinder's so low, forced back off, and Crypto's going to be the first to fall. Pathfinder on the bottom, unable to help the rest of his team. Now he zoops up and trying to find it, but the fight's already dissipated. Already the team deciding to back off, and that's going to allow the res come through, but not completely for free. 2 now fall. Jack, Stickle Monster, going back to everything here. Able to catch up the first kill, able to clean up Team 2, but already the position being addressed on Team 5, now taking the top of the crane. Now they hold the dominant spot, and now they look over on the rest of the map, but not seeing the other teams have to say anything about it. Massive shots coming up big. Next to no falling down. It's going to be a big fight. Punch. No, he gets punched off. Now 2 players alive. Though still they hold on to the best position, but now a man down. Do they have what it takes to close it out? No mats, no, but nothing to be able to be had. Health so low that crypto drone detecting them might cause some aggression. Indeed it does. It's Team 14 coming back up back to crypto. Now reclaiming their position, reclaiming their rightful throne. They might have just done it way too early. Already being pushed man.
There's a stick.
Down super low. A res! No way! No way you hit this res. No way are they able to get the reset here.
With the gold knock as well, so that means that they're going to be able to get their third up. They're going to likely be able to zip on up and maybe even contest for the best position. Still shields available for all 3. It looks like they have done it. The cascade of disaster as desperation played spoiler to multiple teams' game plans, and somehow, some way, Jack's favorite are still on top at the end of it, are now poised from the highest point of this end game to try and win it all, nearly missing out on that opportunity, but finding every single window available to them, and they are right back in it.
Threading the needle, and they play it to perfection. Now as the map closes in, they hold the god spot, they watch over everyone. KP lining up for them, but just as quickly other teams also training their eyes onto them. Both Team 5 and Team 6, a common enemy being shown, and they both look to try and remove Jack from that top spot. Now the ring closing, Team 6 not much position to play. They'll be able to stay here for a little while longer. Already feeling that crunch. Team 13 forced to drop down from that crane. Now from the top of the building, the left and right everywhere, enemies surrounding them. A big fight to win out. All of them staying alive here, able to get a reset. Actually being off, indeed they will as the fight continues. The chaos below them. Team 19 of them good to hold on to this position. Still 3 men alive, but not able to swoop the team in front. But now Team 13 from the top might be looking to swoop in, might be looking to clean this up.
Wow,
little pause in the round. Alive. Now going for a little bit of a fight. Team 14 once again showing aggression, and Team 5 will fall. Now a 3v3, pushing in, aggressive, wanting to use this momentum, take charge, and might have just been stalled out entirely. 2 players locked out, custom everything to do, won't be able to finish it out, and it's Team 14, take it all the way to second place. Team 19 come in with the cleanup, and they'll take the final map of World's Edge. Wow, what an action-packed ending to that series.
Yeah, that was wild. Davenport there, right at the 11th hour, sealing it away. Fantastic job, though. I have to give so much credit to Jack's favorite. The fact that they were able to come back from what looked like absolute dire straits when multiple teams, including Jorgenit came back from effectively being down to one member in the early game. Remember, almost played spoiler on Jack's favorite's entire game, which is just absurd to say. Incredibly exciting way to close World's Edge out. And I can't wait to get started on Storm Point. Before we get to Storm Point and before we go to a short break, we do, of course, want to shout out our wonderful sponsors. We got ZOTAC on deck as our primary sponsor for our Apex Legends tournament. Be sure to type !ZOTAC in the chat there to get more information about all the amazing stuff that they're doing. But they're certainly one of the primary purveyors of helping to make this thing happen. We also want to shout out some of our other sponsors that are sprinkled throughout the entire Splash event. Of course, want to shout out Give Labs. We are still doing a giveaway with Give Labs. I believe it ends on August 11th at 11:59 p.m. PST. So definitely get in there. !Give Labs is going to be where you're going to find the link. And there is a whole bunch of goodies in there for y'all to potentially win. We got tickets to DreamHack Atlanta. We got ZOTAC Gaming RTX 4060, which is incredible. So definitely get into that giveaway. I'd love to see any one of those items make their way onto my lap for sure. Last but not least, got Genji helping us out. They've got an amazing collegiate program, getting club leaders even more ingrained and more informed on how to be fantastic leaders. They've got a great program, so make sure if you're interested in that applications get submitted. They've updated their support program, so take a look at all of that information, !Genji in the chat. We're going to cut to a quick break, and when we get back, we will be right back onto our finals lobby for our last 3 games on Storm Point. Don't go anywhere. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Summer Splash 2024 Apex Legends Finals. My name is Melocrit, joined once again by Amuriz, and we were just getting lost in the Addy. We're just watching it off of that beautiful ZOTAC video card. I'm not gonna lie, that thing is gorgeous. But in any case, something else that was gorgeous was that win from Davenport. Not the team that we were expecting or talking about the most, but certainly a really great win to a really great game. We were just talking in the green room about how exciting that was, and what does that mean for us going into these Storm Point games? Because Storm Point tends to be that map where we see so much fighting, where we see, I think, sort of the higher octane sort of gameplay. What are you expecting from these teams, Amariz?
I mean, like you said, if there's anything that Storm Point's about, it's a lot more of those fights, a lot more of those edge fights being taken by teams, individual plays. You often see a team or two go out in Zone 1, Zone 2, but with this lobby, I'm looking at potentially 5 to 6. And once again, having a look at our POI drops, lots of contests on the line here. TGB and Jorking it once again, claiming going to be dueling over towards Zeus Station and Command Center. We also see a lot of teams trying to really flex their muscles, flex their guns, taking big POIs here. I expect teams like Rack City and Dank Zero to have a lot of company as they drop in.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a number of contests, and it's funny to see Jerking it once again fighting it out. A team that seemed to be spelling disaster for multiple teams, including nearly themselves at the beginning, and once again towards the end. So, still expecting a lot from that squad. Of course, one of the more formidable teams coming out of the previous qualifier games. If I'm not mistaken, that is they were the top ranked team in their lobby, first or second. Yeah, something
First,
absurd
that's
they
first
had.
rank. That
Yeah.
honor goes to, well, MNK. MNK emails.
Yeah.
They came in, dominated their lobby. So far, able to pick up that first win. I believe they still are leading in that ranking so far, potentially in the conversation for taking home our tournament win, huge big prize here. But still, anyone's game. No one really showing dominating fashion. Some main character has been introduced to this play that we are writing as we speak, but no one really coming forward and taking center stage just yet.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And there's 3 more games where the tables can certainly get turned around for any of the squads, especially some of the teams that we're not seeing sort of ramp up too much. Teams that have been a little bit slow to the draw. I definitely want to shout out North because we did get a peek at them, and they seem to be jogging for some half decent position. Maybe finding one good fight over towards Siphon could have put them in the end game conversation as well. And we saw some good fighting from Castle Crashers as well. So these are a couple of squads where we definitely want to keep an eye out. Maybe World's Edge wasn't their map. Maybe they were outpicked or picked out away from their POI and how to play a little bit different than they're used to. I think Castle Crashers was actually rocking the Newcastle. So love that play on words as they're rocking that composition, which I think could easily transfer over towards their Storm Point game as well. And I think Storm Point is a map where Newcastle's flexibility is sort of a little bit more valuable, especially with those really long-winded rotates that oftentimes don't have quite as much cover. Setting up that Newcastle wall can be a great way to set up solid fights or even defend really solid positions. So a number of teams that I have some high hopes for as we wait to get into these Storm Point games and hopefully see some of these scripts being flipped a little bit.
Yeah, and World's Edge and Storm Point, 2 completely different maps. It'll be interesting to see if these teams can translate their games, or teams at the bottom of the leaderboard right now, can they turn their luck around with a change of scenery? Map 4 to be started right about now. Teams starting to lock in their characters, and having a look at it, I expect a lot of Bangalore, but as the initial first locks are revealed, seems to be a mixed bag of agents. I see some Conduit, Lifeline, Seer, and of course your usual picks, Bangalore, Bloodhound, Crypto. Some teams still running that Pathfinder though, really believing in its ability to take those early duels, get them in on that initial fighting. It seems that we are queuing up for a bit of a bloodbath here on map 4.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I actually got a peek at a Mad Maggie for, I want to say it was no AA needed. Team on the top right there was actually rocking a Mad Maggie as well. So I think across all these games, we've covered almost every character under the sun, which is lovely to see. Really just showing off everything that is so fantastic and wonderful about the game of Apex Legends, especially when we're seeing such fun games like in game number 3. They really set the bar high. So here we go, y'all. First game of the second half of our tournament finals for the Summer Splash. And we're starting off, of course, with some contests. And I hope to see a whole bunch of adaptation from the squads that haven't quite done so hot.
First fight in a duel looking to form over towards Cascade Falls. But which of these teams to fall? It's Team 14 coming up big. They've gotten really good on Storm Point, but now faced up against Team 9. That Seer Envy providing so much info for them, but perhaps not needed as they're able to spot out a few players. Shots ringing out, having control of this main building. They look to lock it down, unwilling to budge from their position. Team 14 forced to play on the outside, trying to poke in, trying to see if they can get any initial damage in, anything to get that green light going.
Trying to find that early knock. That first knock could completely break open this game, but it looks like they've already been shoved into a corner. They're trying to defend from it. They're going to be able to fend off for a little bit with those Watson fences. That's going to be CSUF defending against Blackout & Co. And I have to shout out Blackout. That Watson has been an incredibly formidable damage dealer in our first set of games. So if they continue to put on that aggression and find that damage like we see them doing now, it could spell disaster for CSUF. The aggression does come through for Blackout, and it's going to be Blackout all day, your new kill leader, right as we talk about him. And that is going to be the wipe as Leet starting off strong on Storm Point.
Just not expecting to push up. They get that initial damage and force Team 9 out of position. And from that point on, Blackout, not expected, coming into the back, picks up all 3. Beautiful play from them to give them some early KP and a great boost in confidence going into Storm Point. In the meantime, though, a fight happening over towards Barometer, Team 16. That Pathfinder zip missing and taking lots of damage, now forced onto the low ground. So far removed from the rest of his team, no utility to get back up, but it seems his position not entirely noted. Red's gonna be able to come through, and the rest of the team giving up that high ground. Yep, gonna go play with him instead. Team 19 has done good here. They found themselves in a strong position to begin with, but now allowing the reset to come through, seem complacent to just hold on to this area and really just wait for the fight to come to them. Crypto being used, but hearing that zip already sprinting towards that top building. We'll spot out one, but looking for that survey beacon indeed, looking to find out all the enemy's positions. Why just haggle? Why just settle with one? Bullets raining out now. It's instead of them being pressured. Team 16 looking to go back in for the fight. Team 16 have walked in here. All coming back now, ready for revenge. They lost out on the first round, and they redeemed themselves in the second.
It's going to be Castle Crashers. They swipe down, and I think it would have been very overzealous for this team on the low ground to try and find a fight going uphill, but it looks like the fight has actually just come down to them walking the shield forward, slow and steady. That crypto drone no longer in position now to put on the pressure, and it would be pretty risky to pull it out now and try to set up an EMP. So they're going to continue to back away towards something a little bit more defensible, a little bit safer for themselves that they can hold out with a Watson. It might not be necessary. This first string has popped. Information has been gathered, or rather a gamble starting to be taken as this team is going to start to rotate out. We can see that this is pulling hard towards the northern edge, where we are already seeing a number of teams take early residence. For the likes of UCSD, however, they're not interested in the zone. They want to take these kills early, and they want to force the hand of all these squads that are rotating late.
Already doing so good in World's Edge, looking to ride off that momentum. Zoro City getting a lot of damage in. That's enough. Hitting the go button. Scan to find all of their positions. Now working on the move, and he still gets another crack. Still no cigar. Finally, on top, is where it ends. The Mastiff trying to break through, but no shots connecting. The rest of his team now being peppered, bombarded by those nades might just give a brief moment of respite, but Team 11 already in a world of hurt, losing out on one player. Truth decides to opt for the rat play. Spotted out by that Sonar. Surely he is marked for theft, running straight into the Gibby. Kato, last alive, going to have to run away, try to get a res, try to craft those banners. And wow, what aggression from Team 1 here. UCSD really flexing their muscles.
Yeah, and UCSD, Game 1 winners, not quite finding as much success in Games 2 and 3. Maybe they're just first game on map type players. We'll see if they can put one together here. Or the likes of Dang Zero, though, they've had a couple of bugs that they're looking to squash right underneath their house. Nice EMP there is going to slow this down, and they've already opened up with a ton of damage. So if they can find a knock here, that would feel pretty solid to start things off. It looks like the team might have gotten away with it, though. I did see at least one knock, but the damage being answered back. So I think it is in the best interest of Dang Zero to just hang out a little bit, and they know that there's a number of other squads that are probably closing in on their position. We already see Jorking It has sniffed out this fight, and they were ready to pounce, but it looks like they're not going to be granted that opportunity quite yet. They're going to stabilize as well, and good thing they do, because you can see there that ring pull is coming right towards command center, right at their feet, and right at where, unfortunately, Leet has lost one. Team crossing over is going to be able to recover the banner. Sneaky little walk up, so it looks like they'll get to revive this game once again.
Able to get that banner now. The quest continues, going for that res, but as they leave the ring, going to walk into so many teams. Deputy Duke, Team 19, they're about to be on a crash course, but Team 14, aware of it, plays it quiet as a mouse. The res right there, the mobile respawn beacon, just able to be popped, but so many teams around them. Do they still decide to risk it? Trying to scout them out by the Sentinel, but Team 19's already walked up far, all the way up the slope, and that should be enough. They should know now that their position's free, able to walk through, but now it's Team 19 using their crypto drone, might just be able to spot it out, knows there's players in the area, now going on the hunt, searching for anything. Survey Beacon's going to be able to reveal their position. Do they decide to go for this? Deliberating, disgusting.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to reveal that. I think they got him just in time, though. So they're going to see 3, but they're going to hear that dropship. So they know that that is 3, maybe not fully strengthened here. They could prey on the edge of the zone. So there's a possibility here. But again, I think a lot of these teams, especially when you find yourself in rings that are really hard to play into like this, you probably just want to hold your spot.
Team 18 now in the middle of the duel. Against a team that already having a kill under their belt is their opponent's Team 11, I believe. Stalled out a little bit. The angle's just not favoring anybody. It seems that just as quickly as the fight starts, it immediately disappears. Paleto's finally spotted out, though. Forced to push through. Team 11 still holding on to good positions here, but taking a lot of damage is Truth. Now, might be enough for an aggression. Might have to fall back. It's all up to Dinko to hold the fort for the rest of his team, but UCSD comes in from behind. UCSD not accounted for, and that's Truth going down. Now stuck between a rock and a hard place. Team 11, their time looks to be up. Dinko taking lots of damage. Encoded, he's done a lot of damage of his own. That massive singing, but still so many guns being trained towards him. He will fall. Team 11 will have to be sent back to the lobby, rethink their strategy. If they get eliminated, second ring closing in.
Okay, UCSD, though, they're joining the party as well. They're severely outmatched in terms of shields here, but it looks like the recovery wasn't completely full for the squad in front of them, and now they're going to get to swing on in. Already a knock found. They could easily prey on the spot, which could be detrimental for the squad in front of them, and this is actually almost a must-do for UCSD. You can see where this ring is closing, and after this, they're really going to have no easy way to continue to push into this ring unless they find a couple of kills here. So at least for now, they're going to collect this loot. They're going to upgrade themselves off of 3 blues, or from 3 blues rather, up into at least 1 purple and purple overshield to work with as well. But Elite has taken a little bit of interest here. They might be joining the fray. They might be looking to clear out the south side as well. We'll have to wait and see. North also finding another fight of their own. Far south side as well. It seems to be the name of the game right now as they peek from the outside in.
Fight here, that charge rifle just trying desperately to connect. 3 shots lost, the advantage no longer a surprise factor. Teams know to be worried about that charge rifle now. Team 17, they played this position well on the edge of the ring. Not here because of unfortunate circumstances, choosing to play that slow edge playstyle and running into so many teams. The potential for KP well on the line here. Team 8 already losing 1, so they look to back off, trying to go for this res, and see still teams off the back of this ring might just be allowing them that opportunity. The res now going to be sticked, no response, but Team 14 hunting around. They know the players are here and looking for anything. Spotted out that first one. Nice. Gonna throw that thermite. That just might be Dig doing damage, but the shield goes off just in time. Perfectly timed, but is that enough already? The aggression coming through. Good spray, but Myers takes a lot of damage. Blackout now trying to assist his team, but he is so far removed from the action. Battery is gonna be able to be popped, but all being used. Grenades invested in, and now you see in a world of hurt, everyone aggressing onto him, goes for the swing, does some good damage, but ultimately falls. Can Blackout find anything here off the bat? Capitalize on that? Indeed, he will not. Once again, so far away, unable to help his team. Going to have to just run away. Banner looks to be unrecoverable and the time too low. He'll have to play this out a solo, trying to haggle for any bit of KP or any bit of placement.
That's so tough too, because we saw how solid their positioning and their potential in this ring looked. I mean, they were in Cascades, right? They won that fight really early. They had the opportunity to be one of the early rotators. Instead, I think on the cross, getting punished a little bit and then getting a little bit too overzealous on this fight over towards the edge has really cost them a lot. It might have cost them their game here. One solo left on easily the worst side of the map right now. As you can see, North, pretty much fully kitted, is still having an incredibly difficult time getting up on this hill, let alone getting into those further zones. Round 3 starts to close and 13 squads left, but you can see the sightlines here are so punishing for the teams that are late.
Team 5 now aggressing onto these teams on that big building. Don't have a good way to rotate out. They decide to do Blackout goes for a risky gamble. I mean, nice try, I suppose. Nothing more you could do, but ultimately it won't work out in his favor. Now Team 5 rotating hard. They're going up to this slope. The lack of a catalyst to try and cut the line of sight is going to make this rotate difficult, but as they land in, it seems nobody ready for them. Going to be right next to Team 1. Big fight here, potentially deciding the side of the map, and meanwhile, travesty for Team 16. No. They won't be able to make it, all falling to the ring. Death, taxes, and the zone closing in with 3 constants in the Apex arena, and Team 16 fall victim to it.
Yeah, we can easily call that castle crash there. We will be down to just 9, and might be making it 8 here real soon, as you see SD down to a solo, trying to fend off and try to make some magic happen right now. The damage is looking beautiful. Already gets a knock. I'm not sure how many other knocks were found earlier in this engagement either. Is going to take to the skies, try and rip this battery, try and turn this one around. It looks like it is just a straight up 1v1, but the damage from Endora is brutal. Donra not even close, and that's going to be the cleanup from no AA needed. The disrespect as a triple MNK, I presume, is going to be put down. Last team on the southern edge of the zone, and it looks like this was the team that was preoccupied, not putting on the pressure to the team walking up. Beautiful cleanup from them, and now easily the easiest walk up that they could have wished for from the south side of zone.
That's a huge fight to win out, and that just might change the tides of fortune for Team 5. This just might be the big break they needed. If that kill, potentially top 5 definitely up for grabs, even more to be found. Meantime, on the other side of Stormcatcher, a fight soon to break out. Team 3 looking to get aggressive, looking to try and find positions, but they're about to walk into a bunch of sight lines. Forced to back out. They'll be able to recoup, gather some information, but now stuck on this rock, literally between a rock and a hard place. The Watson gen has been invested, but due to how difficult it is, has to be given up. No one able to play in that position, and now the Crypto doing his due diligence, trying to spot out where the other teams are, finding a spot for his team to play. They've done good to make it into the zone so far, but getting aggressed onto Graysam's getting overzealous. He wants to go for a fight, trying to hold on to these aggressive angles, and they're just going to let him have it.
Yeah, you can see there the Crypto already showing us a little bit of just how dire the situation is for the teams on the edge. You can see the pings there, and I wouldn't dislike this fight, but I think they're well aware of at least one team looks to be a solo still hanging out on their backside, so they have to clear that out first. Absolute priority here, because if they're not able to take that one out, it could spell disaster for them a little bit later. It seems the kings of the castle right now are going to be jorking it, who have made quite the journey over here, but have successfully mounted a great defense, and they're continuing to pressure on the teams below. And here we see Deng Zero finally starting to get aggressed on the team. Is going to walk up, but nice shots here from the hip fire, and that car is just swinging. Beautiful work from them. They're going to be able to walk on up, and no amount of Watson gen here is going to help out the team in front of them. Pressure from above, attacking from below. They are going to wipe out SJSU.
That's a big win. That's a big fight to win out, clearing out their side of the zone. Now, though, the next step going to have to be that walk-in. In the meantime, teams inside of Stormcatcher also losing out on position to play, also forced to run into each other. Team 2 jorking it. We saw them above, kings of the castle, as they said. Now, right below them, Team 5 looking to start a rebellion, looking to usurp, take the throne for themselves. Nades being thrown up, trying to find any stick. A little bit of a Hail Mary, they'll go wide. Meantime, though, on the outside, on the outskirts of the castle, things being fought. Team 6, already a duo, forced to pop that generator early, trying to control this position with the Watson fences. Teams all around them, Jay-Z strikers, so much damage done, and now they know that their position isn't great. Going to have to potentially move out or risk having to fight this big 2-on-3. Team 13 also trying to get into the mix here. Also a duo. They'd love to take this position, love to get some more KP, love to guarantee that they're able to get a top 5 spot here. Controlling so much of the map. They're already in, trying to peek out, trying to go for more, but getting shot, beautifully reminded of their play if they decide to fall back.
And it is like a close call for them, right? Because they would love to just wait this one out, but they also want to peek and make sure they're doing damage so these teams don't walk in for free. It looks like they've waited it out just long enough, and now teams on the north side will have to engage. Deng Zero taking a fight, but it is going to be damage from behind. That's ultimately going to put them on the back foot. They have some shields to play with. They're going to try and stick a bat, but now 2v3 scenario at absolute best. Though it looks like help has also come from above, and it might not matter. Team 19 in shambles. Davenport taken off the map, and it will be Deng Zero with the recovery. Will we see a swing from Jack's favorite? No, a straight shot from a fuse is going to slow them down, and they will not get this third party cleanly. Looks like the fight might still be the option, however. They're looking for it, but quickly pushed off of it by the high ground, and that might have been the missed opportunity that could cost them a higher placement. Though so many teams have moved up to the high ground, it might not even matter right now. No AA needed right underneath, and still jorking it on top.
Now Jack has to play it small, has to hide, trying desperately to get some location. Another team, though, who doesn't have to space ball, able to try and search for this KP. Team 2 on the top here. Kings of the Castle, they've always held the high ground. It's over for the rest of these teams. Now looking for anything. Expected Green, though, going in for a bit of a push here. They're inside the building. They're going to have to push out first, and so Team 2 might just drop onto them. Both teams potentially able to grief each other's games. And so Team 5 want to try and get any aggression, want to try and see if they can find an opening before the ring forces them into one another, and see if they can take this position. Because if they do, so far up on the high ground, no one else is going to be able to third party, and they'll be able to win the game scot-free.
to be a
He
brutal
invested.
black
That's
hole
a
there.
lot of
Nice
players.
pull. Oh, not quite the
Lots
damage
of
though.
them.
They didn't actually get a knock there.
That's good. That's very good for them. That black hole now no longer in play. Won't be able to come back until the end of the game unless ultimate accelerants are used. In the meantime, pandemonium on the bottom. Team falling. We're down to just 4.
Beautiful trap there with the Horizon tactical is going to prevent that team from walking up just a little bit longer. That is going to be the Rolling Thunder going down. Can they hold? They will have to drop down eventually, and I think the team below them will have to exit a different direction or just straight up take this fight. It looks like it's going to be the latter. Damage coming down, but the Maggie Ball is there. Can that be enough?
So much damage being done out. Team 2 now suddenly find themselves thrown in jeopardy, but Parksville, he has anything to say about it. Oh, so low. It's all down to Twigs. He won't be able to do it. 2 teams alive, and now Team 3 on the bottom. They control it, and they are forced to drop these 5. So much damage. A knock makes it even worse. Forced to jump down, so much less place to place. Next to Stream has to do it all, and he cannot. Team 3 from the bottom clear it out, and they take the first map of Storm Point, drawing first blood and contributing greatly to potentially winning out this whole thing.
Yeah, it was a fantastic way to come back from our break there. Absolutely no breaks from any of these squads. They were fully on the fight. I really appreciated just how well our teams in the center were able to really hold that and really punish the teams that were late. That's exactly what you want to see with these really long sight lines on Storm Point. So great job from them. There was a world there where we saw Jorking it take it down, but the patience from Dang Zero paid off massively for them, and they are going to be able to take down that first game on Storm Point. We should be quickly rolling into our next game. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, absolutely have to shout out a team that is often underappreciated for many of these bigger productions. So definitely want to shout out our friends that have put together all of the wonderful graphics that you've been seeing throughout the weekend. The creative department for the Summer Splash definitely deserves a round of applause. So definitely want to thank Regina, want to thank Miats, and want to thank Dre. They've helped out with the graphics that you see on screen here, not just in Apex, I believe, but throughout the entire weekend. So shout outs to the creative department. Show them some love in the chat if you wouldn't mind, because they're what really make us look nice. We're just here, you know, they slap the slabs on here and hope that we can talk good. But all of the style, all of the nice that you see on your screen, definitely thanks to them. So shout out to them. Again, just another cog that absolutely contributes massively to things like this being possible, and I love to see it. These are truly wonderful. This is my first time seeing them was for casting this weekend, so great job to them. A+.
Yeah, I mean, the secret 21st team in an Apex Legends tournament. Absolutely, though, the most vital one. They've done so well. But enough of that. Thank you very much to them. But still, there is more Apex to be played. And now we turn our sights to round 2 of Storm Point. How do you think this is going to turn out? How do you think this is shaping for you? And I don't know. I'd like to get your opinion. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I gotta say, I'm expecting a lot once again from I think the teams that have been a little bit more quiet. North had signs of life there in a way that I don't think we quite saw in the first half. So got my eyes on North, but I mean, a team that we can't deny the power of is going to be the team that Blackout is on. Blackout, I think. If there might be an MVP or a player that I think has the potential to 1v3 at any point, any one of these fights, you should always be very, very afraid of Blackout. We've seen them put up 3 kills in a quick contest. We've seen them take fights to the end of the line, almost pulling out 2v3s and 1v2s. So I got my eyes out on Blackout and see if that team can take down a win here before we are done and dusted.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. Team 14 still haven't won a map, but they have always been consistently ranking in those top few placements. I think they're D1 at this point. Surely between these next 2 games, one of them will go to Team 14, but that has to start off with a contest. They land Cascade Falls. Is there going to be another duel? And indeed, it looks to be shaping up. Team 9 unwilling to back down, unwilling to give up. Big fight now being taken, and still yet, they find themselves outclashed, able to get that first knock, but now Syndicate going down. Tepe with everything to do, a 1v2 necessary already being fired upon. Mastiff though might just be the difference maker, but indeed Blackout once again. Blackout, how do you keep doing this?
Oh, a Kimbo P20s too.
Some few body shots. Wow.
Tell him, Blackout.
14.
And look at this poll. Once again, we've got another pretty favorable opportunity for Team 14, for Elite to make a great
favorable.
rotation as well.
Very favorable if they're able to realize where the zone actually is pooling. I don't believe I saw there. Perhaps no zone knowledge, but still, looking at where the zone is pooling, perhaps they will suspect, and perhaps they will be able to have a big game brewing. In the meantime, though, teams on the other side of the map, once again, this barometer contest, but seems to be going a much more quiet route this time. Not many gunfights fired. Team 16 just seem to be allowed to loot in peace so far.
Yeah, they're gonna just get themselves sorted out a little bit. I think you're absolutely right. I think we might be an additional team short in the lobby as well. So things slowing down quite a bit, but I assume right around the zone 2 closing, we're going to see a whole lot of damage because there is not the most playable space in these zones. So I anticipate that teams that aren't early to something like Cedo Station or where we already saw Elite in Cascade, they're going to be in for a world of hurt. Right now in a world of hurt is Castle Crashers there. The Castle crashed a little bit earlier than they would have liked, but they did win out this positional fight last time around. Didn't quite get the wipe on the team, but was able to push them away. Looks like the tables might have already been turned for them. One down. And another one gonna follow suit here. It is just down to Knight.
1v1, first step needed, won't be found. Team 19, recuperate, respawn. They go up a completely flawless win on their contest. And what a time to win it out too. I mean, look at where they are in the zone. Not that far away, potentially could make something work of this. That's some free KP for them. And the other team surely must be kicking themselves. Now another team who are
not be happy with that.
Really in the favorites here. Really one of the favorites for making this next zone. Team 3. They've been doing so good so far. Hovering near the top of the leaderboards. Bit quiet so far in that first game on Stormpoint, but after that big win, now looking to make it go back-to-back, becoming our first team to do so.
And I'd love to see it from them. I think it'd be pretty well deserved if they're able to put it together. Right now, though, I'd love to see a fight put together from Team North on your screens right now. Utilizing that Seer, really strong pick in the current meta, and they're trying to utilize it to get the right amount of information here before they commit to this fight. They do have the ultimate from the Seer available as well. We can already hear the Watson going down. The Pylon ultimate is going to slow them down at least a little bit. It's on the roof, actually, but it might not matter. Great opening damage, and there's going to be another team that's going to help them out. Just a touch from Hunkelus, far, far and away. It might not matter right now. North going to try and finish taking over this position. Might be a little hard, though, as for the boys, the team that is putting on pressure from far away. We did see a triple take, and they have a Sentinel to make this difficult as well. So no one having fun right now in this building, as for the boys look poised to take a couple of kills here and wipe out this side of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, look at how many buildings they control. They're gonna have the Lions pick, the best pick of which buildings they want to play if the zone does come to Cascade. In the meantime, though, giving it up just a little bit, chasing for that KP. Dr. Stephosaurus will be called back, however. Now playing, but suspecting an enemy close by. Indeed, that's Seer. Now revealing his location. Spotted out. Good Sentinel shot. That's enough opening damage. That's very much enough opening damage. But now, Team 7 instead deciding, backing away from it. For the boys not interested in taking that fight. They've done their job, they've gotten their KP. Now just trying to reposition, trying to find a better spot.
Yeah, and I think that's the right play, especially once you've given up this high ground. Great heads up play from North here to take up that space. Sometimes teams are a little bit too slow to sort of mirror the team that is left and gone and gotten greedy to try and chase those kills. So the fact that North has now established themselves very solidly on those buildings is exactly how they needed to run that team out and away. And it's becoming even more critical as we get to see a peek into the future here, of course. Know that the next zone will be aiming towards that Cascade spot. There's still a number of endings that could be near Cascade and near Cedo, but having that northernmost edge with a couple of buildings for safety is a huge boon, especially because teams walking in late are, like with many endings in Stormpoint, going to be aggressed on by all the teams in the center with these very, very long sight lines. And we see teams are unafraid to rock those long range weapons as well. So expect a lot of triple takes and a lot of snipers doing a whole lot of damage on your way in.
A whole lot of damage is a really good way to describe this round so far. Rain 1 closing, and already 14 squads only standing. Arcs are taking a lot of damage, potentially might just become the 14th one eliminated as well, but hiding behind these rocks, they'll be safe. A big fight now occurring, a Revenant pick being shown through, fought earlier on World's Edge, but now a different team deciding to don the mask and up against a big fight. It's our first place team. PTSD, big opening damage, that Gibby bubble being used, aggression onto Sandwich here, who's playing the bubble very well, doing a lot of damage, not taking much in return, and now able to back out, but caught in the middle of the open, able to back away, shields cracked, but losing out a little bit on that advantage. Gibby ult now coming down to try and make the position stabilize a tiny bit more. Blue takes a lot of damage for it. Somehow, some way, UCSD have been able to find a way to relocate. They've stabilized the position. Now looking for opening down. Mostly take a lot, but also a lot getting through. Gibby bubble, not expected. Missed Sentinel shot.
Knock.
These two teams finding themselves in Nintendo, but good call on the knock. Throw City though gets responded though. Good response now, 2-on-2. Both teams potentially a res on the cards and feed. UCSD, that Gibby bubble so strong, giving them free res, but on the other side, it's traded out too. Eclipse, though, now really low, forced to go for that med kit, and that's going to buy time for a reposition here, potentially. Both teams caught out in a deadlock, separated by this river, this open ground, no man's land, no one willing to cross it. But now as the reset comes through, someone has to break, someone has to budge. This fight has been going on for so long. Third parties might just be around to swoop in.
And I gotta say, this is like textbook keep out here from UCSD, forcing anything to try and go the long way here, and they didn't take that, actually just setting it up as a bit of a bait. I think you might have been right, and there's the aggression. This has taken far too long. UCSD has pulled the trigger. That PK is trying its absolute best to turn this one around. Nice damage, though, and it is going to be plenty, as only Zerosity going to fall during that fight. Beautiful push there. That Gibby bubble doing work right now. For those that don't know how to play against that Gibby bubble, it is a nightmare. We see that the nightmare has descended on anything, and that team will be wiped out. We are down to 12.
It all looked so scary initially. That first knock going the way of Team 18, but UCSD managing to find a way to rally around that PK, really putting in the work. They're going to be able to survive yet a moment longer. Teams, however, over in this position, some of them might not be so lucky. Already lots of damage being done. The Seer forced to back into the house. No more aggression, no more peaks for you. Battery going to have to be popped, but Team 3 looking to potentially go for some aggression here. Seer Q is going to catch 2. That just might be enough information to cause a push.
Yeah, I'm going to see it. I think blue on blue violence, though. This is probably a game-breaking moment. Whatever team wins out here is going to get a colossal advantage, not just in position, but in the shields. Let's see what happens as North starts to push.
Big damage already being done. This Watson defense is so difficult to deal with the damage already there. Nastis swinging out gets a lot of damage done. I think the knock's already informed, but a bit more aggression. Watson just swinging out without the rest of the team. Traded out though, it is tied to go down, but now a 1v2 needed for Mshake. The res going to be initiated. The John trying to go aggressive, goes alone. And they're able to be picked out, but the aggression coming out. Both teams fall. Both teams fall. able to win it out is Team 17, but Team 6 from the far side getting a nice repeater shot in, and that's all she wrote for both teams.
Yeah,
So
DH
much loot
Demons
now.
there. Gonna claim all that up.
So much loot for them, and such a nice position in the zone. Meantime, big fight for some reason over out here, far away. Echo HQ. What on earth? Everyone going for that res? I presume everyone trying to go for res beacon, and they all happen to collide. Seer ult being used out. That's Jack's Seer ult, providing good information, and these massive shots going up big. A crack already found. The Nemesis going to find another more, getting that so low. Miles going to aggress for it, but already having to smoke off, having to worry about his behind, taking a lot of damage. Now has to focus his attention. Gets the first good shot, gets another nice shot, but unable to go over the damage deficit. He will fall. Now Jack and Team 12 going to have to come up big here. The Mirage super low, but which one is he? Actually, I think he got knocked. Indeed it is. Now a res going to try to be initiated from this Bangalore. No aggression from the other team. Both of them locked. It's indeed Jorking it. Forced to back away. Team 12 will live to fight another day as they manage to get the full reset.
Yeah, they're going to be able to stave them off. Great job from them. They're just going to clean this up. I got to say, all of the people that are produced from RIT, absolutely wonderful. For those of you who don't know, Miles is actually, if this is the Miles that I'm thinking of paired with RIT Jack, very accomplished coach and player in the ALGS Challenger circuit, as well as coaching Pro League. So the prowess of this team cannot be denied. We saw it there in their win in game number 2. We're showing it on display now, and it could be a solid storm point game for them to put themselves on the map in a big way, especially having taken out a number of threats on that south side. As we mentioned, a little bit surprising to see that wide rotate, but now they have so much room to work with, while teams like UCSD are fighting for their lives and fighting for position constantly in this match.
Still in the zone though. A little bit of a scary moment there when a headshot came through. Good repositioning. Position now reset, and now face towards this area. Another good shot coming through, but little damage done. Fimi, the one to take a lot of damage instead. Now going to have to go an armor swap there to provide him with some more sustainability, but as the push no longer comes through, seems unlikely that is about to happen.
Yeah, they really just stabilized this position after having taken it. So SJSU, not a ton to worry about right now, other than maybe some teams pushing it a little bit too overzealously. Teams that do have to worry about where they're going to be walking in, that is going to be Jorking It, who has managed to get the reses off, but it looks like the zone might claim them if they aren't able to win this out. Big PK pump, though, might have just turned things around for them. They are in this next zone. No more pressure from the zone. They have some time to work with, and they've lost 1, but they've managed to pick up 2 on the way. Not punished for the res quite as hard as we might have expected. They're even going to get a shield swap for their troubles, and the Moby, they have it all right now.
A master plan. This team is just so adaptable, always able to survive. But can they survive Team 5 from behind? Already a spray coming through that's going to deny the res. A duo they have to face against Free here. And with the armor advantage towards Team 5, you have to think that surely this is the end of the road for Jorking It. A team that has shown so much resilience, so much fight. And now they're going to have to do it again. Pull a miracle out of the bag. 5 though now trying to suss out their position, but Team 2 seems to have been long gone. Just holding on to these doors, trying to postulate. Team 5 authorize their own.
Oh no!
Missed wrecking ball, and that's going to cost them dearly. Now they don't have the wrecking ball to force Team 2 back, and crucially, that means that they're just going to have to go in the zone pressuring unless they're able to go and pivot around this wide area. Indeed, it seems they're going to go for it, returning to where they originally came from. Evac going to be popped. It's going to be passed by Team 2. They're going for the res. Team 2 is going for the res, but spotted out Twigs, not able to get it down in time. Lexi Cream leaving a final memento before running off on that Evac tower. Just
fade away.
Team 2's game.
That's crazy. Yeah, unfortunately, that door does not go down to the Maggie Ball, one of the few doors that does not. But I was just about to shout out Team 5 because I love the pressure that they put into that building, but they didn't have to commit to it. They still had this wide wrap available to them because they did so much work clearing out the south presumably, or otherwise gaining that information. So they actually, I don't think necessarily needed to make it rotate with the evac tower, but it seems they did it with just enough time to get in on this next fight right outside this wall. And they're actually just going to wrap around the other way and still punish the team that they were pressuring on the inside, though it might have cost them dearly for being in the wrong place at the wrong time while taking these shots. They've already lost Enadora, and the push here from this last member is going to spell disaster for them, is going to pick up a sweep and might be able to get the golden res here, but they're not going to be allowed that pleasure as Jack's favorite has swung on in to clean this one up. We're down to 4.
Blink of an eye here, now down to 3 as Team 6 gets eliminated. So many spots to play. Team 13, you have to think they're least favored in this zone, considering they're outside of it. But able to get a res here. Just a conveniently placed mobile respawn beacon will bring Razum back into the game and provide them yet another fighting chance. Spotting out all the positions of the enemies, they know exactly how this endgame is going to play out. Can they capitalize? Can they give themselves a great position and manage this endgame perfectly? Spraying down into the building. That's full red for all of them. Full red coming through. So now they definitely won't be afraid to take a fight aggress onto Team 4, who have been diligently holding onto this building. Team 7 might want to put something into the mix. The wild card here, definitely the weakest team by far. They've held out this rock here, always been in this position, playing zone beautifully, and that rewards them the top lane. And how much further? Good Kraber shot, and that might leave them in a very, very tough position here.
They still have smokes available. They still have that Rolling Thunder ready to rip, and it looks like they did actually take out the drone as well, or maybe it got recalled just in time, but a well-placed smoke here could extend their game just a little bit further. SJSU Blue defending inside the building. Jack's favorite on triple reds is going to be the team that has to walk on in and match the team on the other side. Unfortunately for them, it seems like very few heals left, or actually plenty of heals left, but not a whole lot of shields available for them to take any sort of fight with. And a 2v3 against someone like Jack's favorite is not going to be the scenario where you're going to win this game on out. So they're going to have to play the waiting game here. They're going to have to be patient, and they're going to have to hope that SJSU Blue has to force their hand onto Jack's favorite. Otherwise, this is looking like a Jack's favorite game. They could close it out here, and a well-placed Kraber shot could really be the nail in the coffin.
Although Team 7 have done good for themselves, making a way into the house, realizing it's free, that's going to provide them with a little bit of safe harbor, able to creep all that way, buy so much time for them, and potentially force these other two teams into each other. The win condition now for them, Jack knows they have to aggress onto this, and the Kraber already trained at the door, but perhaps not showing anything. Team 7 playing this slow, playing this collected, and the fight inevitably to come through. 20 seconds until ring closes, forcing these teams into each other. They all play it slow, no one willing to make the first move. Just scouting out, searching for anything and everything. That crypto drone is going to open up a sight line there, and I think that was a hit. That Kraber getting a nice shot in. Still nothing there. Indeed, it's Primi who takes it to the face. That Phoenix will be able to charge him right back up, just in time for as the ring starts to close. Team 7 still in this building, still playing it slow, quiet as a mouse. They creep around, trying desperately not to draw attention to themselves, but as they're slowly forced out of position, guns must be trained where they are. Team 13 must know, but
that long side looks pretty solid.
School is going to come out now. Angular ult going to be used, taking the high ground in an aggressive position. They're looking to initiate a fight here. Nothing much more to play. Going to have to drop down. Bangalore ult of their own exchange, but a lot of damage done here. Team 7 now capitalizing on this, wanting to try to take second place. Hugo already with the first off and trade. Kills down. How much longer can they survive? Indeed, Team 4 going to last, going to fall, but now Team 13 coming through and easy pick up, and they are crowned our 5th champion.
Yeah, it did really feel like Jack's Favorite's game to lose there, but they managed to hold on out. Great timing there from the pylon placement, waiting out for the crypto drone just in time, but it seems like it was still a little bit too late to be able to help out in any meaningful way to try and get that regen or to try and prevent some of that rolling thunder from doing all of the damage that it did there. So great hold by SJSU, not quite able to hold out quite long enough, and it is going to be Jack's Favorite who does take down our penultimate game of this series. And man, I would love to just take a look at where in the scoreboard some of these middle to pack teams are sitting, because we've had a whole bunch of different winners. We've had a lot of variety. We had some teams that really performed in some games and fell pretty short in others. So I think the race is as tight as we could have hoped for here for the Apex Legends finals of the Summer Splash 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've gotten a repeat winner so far. Everyone able to come up big, have their own turn in the spotlight. It's all going to come down to who's been the most consistent, who's been able to pile on those frags, who's been able to navigate those zones, avoid conflict, strike when they most deserve to, right? In the opportune moments. It's all come down to the wire. This last game is going to mean everything for some of these teams.
Yeah, and I think a repeat winner here could be sealing the deal. There are teams that have gotten close, but again, no teams that have quite made it back to back, or at least really been in the conversation for the top two. I think the closest we might have seen would have seen that game where Davenport just sniped it out from underneath Jack's Favorite, who seemed like the favorite to win that match. It looks like they got their revenge a little bit here, not on the same team, but certainly in a game-winning scenario that they were able to close out this time around. So I'm sure they'll be really happy with this result, and maybe that's the momentum that they need to get a back-to-back. Right? Wouldn't it be great to be the first team to get the back-to-back to close out the series? So we're going to wait to find out here as we drop into our final game of the series, our final game of Apex Legends for one of the last showings for Summer Splash 2024. I hope you all have enjoyed the event so far, especially the Apex segment that has given us so many awesome games to watch, in my personal opinion. Here we go, loading on in for the closer.
So many storylines, so many questions, and above all, the most important one, who's coming out on top? 20 minutes to decide their fate. Over these past 3 hours, these players have been slaving away, trying desperately to get position, and it all ends here. Everything on the line, first place in the grasp of multiple teams, but who is going to be the one to take it?
And I'd love to see a little bit more from SJSU here. Again, finding that endgame scenario, playing that really well. SJSU, an underdog, turned, I think, overperformer in a lot of scenarios for the collegiate scene, for anyone who sort of keeps tabs on some of these squads. So it's exciting to see them succeed here and there, but they haven't quite found that win. I think once again, I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to Leet. Leet has been lighting up the kill cam, has been lighting up the kill feed. So if they're gonna make something happen, if they're gonna put down that magic win to be the cherry on top of what's been a really solid fighting performance so far, what better time than Game 6?
Yeah, but what I'm going to be keeping my eyes on definitely are these contests that are coming through. Once again, Cascade Falls seems to be a contest, but it seems to have ended really early. Now moving on to that barometer fight. Team 17 now, another duel, this time getting that good damage in. The knock, first one found. Fimi the first to fall. Can't they capitalize? Damage so much taken by them, but still they've managed to make it all work. A top 3 team from last round, instantly eliminated in the blink of an eye. Now all they can do is cross their fingers and hope that they've done enough to pass 5 rounds. Again, now Team 2 also in a bit of trouble. That's Blake slowing down, getting shot out from really far in North Pad. They take the high ground, but the team with a player down, how much more can you do? The lack of any initiator thing on Team 12, that Pathfinder might be able to solo grapple up, but the rest of his team gonna have to take that rope. Team 2 have done good to find themselves in a position where they cannot be traded.
Yeah, they just have to play the waiting game here a little bit. Zone is going to be pulling away from this north pad spot. And unfortunately, Team 12 doesn't have something like a Horizon to get a quick reset to be able to pressure. But there's a chance that once the zip line comes up, they will be able to get aggressive and finish this one out, as we see BGB eliminated from the lobby. Another team falling, and many teams falling around them. It's going to be up to Jorking It to decide how they want to play this one out. And I think, unfortunately for them, the team underneath them is not falling for any of these clones whatsoever. They're waiting really patiently, and I think there's a chance that they're just waiting for Jorking to get overzealous here and try and pick up that banner from below, which could be pretty disastrous if they get caught out or really just fried. So it's going to be a bit of a tug and pull here, a bit of a waiting game, but finally, it looks like the trigger has been pulled from underneath, and Team 2 holding for now, and they find the knock.
Let's see now, he's fallen down though. Paco has to go in and assist the rest of his teammate, now dropping in, trying to get that damage onto the Pathfinder, able to get that knock. Suddenly the situation turned on its head. It's Team 2, the ones with the advantage. Do they have enough time to go for that banner though? Can they save their teammate? Potentially early aggression. Miles, his gun not reloaded. That cannot be happening. A travesty, a mistake at the last moment, and it cost Team 12 Game 6. Team 2 will be able to find a way back. Managed to find a way to get their teammate back online. They look to be the one being jorked, but finally through on top.
Yeah, we got another team that seems to have gotten interested in that, fighting a little bit on the north side, so we'll see what they're able to claim. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Amuruiz, we're seeing a lot of shambles all throughout. 14 squads left, solos here, duos there. This has been a very messy game so far.
Yeah, and I mean, you need a big game for some of these teams. Teams sitting maybe in the middle of the table, bottom of the leaderboard. It's go big or go home. You're either first or you're last. That's the mentality some of these teams are coming in with, and they know they need a big game, and so they're willing to just go for any fight they take. Again, Team 11 here going for a fight. And they're going to be running into Team 1, one of the favorites to win out this entire tournament. Gonna see that car, gonna shoot towards the Trident. The movement perhaps not that good, but still no knocks to be found just yet. Hightailing out of there, Team 1 looking to give chase, but certainly cannot outrun that Trident. Might just have to be forced to give this up, and indeed gonna be worried about their own rotations now.
Contact.
Yeah, it looks like they might have caught out a solo that got left behind, or maybe one of the knocks that they were able to find a little earlier. Not quite sure. I think it's might still be Truth that is caught out here. Still hasn't recovered that shield health, though is pretty healthy in the red HP department. Though as I say that, still eating damage, still doing what they can to run away, but they're not getting off easy here, that's for sure. And the Trident's still in their possession. They finally come back. I was gonna say, where's the getaway driver right now? Truth is gonna get picked on up, and it looks like Rack City will get away with it this time.
The Great Escape. Oh my god. I thought they had left Truth to die there, but coming back, a story of camaraderie and friendship. Ultimately, they are able to save him. Saving Private Truth, I suppose. Now Team 17 finds themselves drastic. A fight breaking out here. Damage taken on all sides, done up, belly taken especially low. This method is going to have to be off, but Joyon getting that work in, gets that first kill, and eliminates Team 7. Now holding on to a strong position. Another one of the top 3 teams from last game now gone. Now looking to get aggressive on the position. It's Blackout, that signature P2020, but instantly deleted in the blink of an eye. Knives, last one alive. Gonna have to do a 1v3, putting in the work though. He's gotten the first kill. Potentially able to find the second. Has to reload, gets that banner up, a shield swap available. Not able to get it though, doesn't get it in time, and Team 17 will fend off the push. Able to get that res and able to reset the position yet again.
It's North, dude. We brought up this team a number of times. They've been right at the cusp of having a really fantastic game. They've already taken out one of the strongest fraggers on the map. They've already aided and taken out a team that was really, really vying for points here. So they still have great position in this next ring, and they only have a couple more teams that they really need to take care of if they want to continue to fight. So North looking much better than they've looked, especially when we consider the games on World's Edge. So Storm Point could be their map, and it could be Game 6 that they finally get it done.
Team 11 now in a world of hurt, seems to have been hunted down, looks to be Team 1, hot on their heels, UCSD, not giving up that fight since Echo HQ. So many teams have fallen, so rapid it is. Zone 2 not even starting to close, and already half the lobby has been wiped. You're right, Milo, this is a very messy game, and throughout all the chaos, finally starting to look towards the zone. Teams starting to play the macro. We're headed towards the south side, walking in mostly towards that Echo HQ area. Team 12.
It's
Never
gonna
mind,
slow
it's
it down
Kylo.
like in a big way right now because you can see just how few teams there are. I mean, if you're really fighting right now, what are you looking for? Is it really you chasing for kills? Is it you fighting for macro? I'd question some of the edge play from some of the teams, but at this point, it really ceases to matter a little bit, right? We're so early in the game. There's so much space on the map, so taking fights on the edge really isn't as dangerous as it normally might be. There's very few teams that are going to walk up and punish you. It looks like no AA needed. Might be taking me up on that advice and fighting for a couple more KP on their way in. Nice damage here and is going to break the drone, so no EMP to slow them down. They are on the full swing. Maggie Ball seems to be the option for the engage as well, so they're trying to go fast, but the friendly fire from the Maggie Ball is going to slow them down. Rolling Thunder is going to do work as well to stave them off, and it looks like this won't be easy prey from no AA needed.
They had the advantage, had the surprise, knew the team was there, but somehow, someway, Eco Team Jax found a way to tie it all the way back up. A full reset on both sides, and now they aggressed once more. This time, it's Team 13 looking to go on the advantage. The Cripple Drone will catch the Pathfinder once again. It seems to be a recurring theme that the Pathfinder gets hit by their own utility. But this time, still, no real aggression. Searching desperately for that team. Both of these teams now have to start worrying about their own rotate as well. Not only is this fight important, but also getting into the zone. Little tech damage will reveal their location, and indeed Team 5 is going to pop that evac, not wanting to deal with this team. It's going to fly right above their heads.
I mean, this is perfectly fine, right? We've not got a whole lot of resistance on the way in, especially when you're flying over a number of teams, including Jorking It, who is going to be potentially mirroring you and joining you in these buildings for a fight. So they're the ones that are in zone. They're the ones that get to defend without the zone at their backs. It looks like they're not going to wait around for the zone to force the issue. And already a knock and a thirst onto Parks to open things up. No AA needed. Just taking it for themselves. Nothing gifted, everything just claimed and well-deserved, I gotta say, because Team 2 has been a menace throughout this tournament. The fact that they have once again been put on the back foot, I feel like their steady state is having fewer than 3 players on the map.
Indeed, so much resilience shown from this team. Once again, the same old ballad continues for them. Going down early, getting that reset, rinse and repeat it for a few rounds until finally you fall somewhere in the top 8. Incredible resilience from this team. Enough about them as they go to try and get the reset. Team 16 now, also in a duel of their own. Haven't really shown up much. This could be the map where they break through though. Really good position, and already a first knock onto Team 5. A res trying to be attempted. Maxi Cream though already being aggressed onto barely into the ring. The Thermite is coming a tiny bit delayed. The res will come through. He'll be able to go for the shield, but already being pressed onto Sweatsby. No time to battery. Only now finds the chance to. Team 16, they've already taken good advantageous positions, already training their sightlines onto this, and already taking the height of Team 5. Holding on to this position now. The angle so good for them, and that's a great swing to cut things off. Huge damage. Rockhard takes it just as much in return. Big Skynade able to get that damage through. And now is looking to drop, looking to aggress. They try to find the positions of the other players. Spots them out. That's a big 75 bomb. Another one to follow through. They're running into all their players. Doing so much damage. The team needs to come through and capitalize on this. Indeed, now this swing through. First kill found, but so much damage taken by everyone. The first falls, the second falls. DJ Rockstar now everything to do. Able to get that shoot off. A 1v1 on the card. Massive shots. Whiffing. Not landing. Team 13 able to stabilize, come out on top yet again. The Mastiff gods not sharing, not finding their way. It does not ring true this time around.
And this seems like a consistent game plan. I don't know where this was in the Learn How to Play Apex textbook where you're supposed to just like wait for teams to be in absolute shambles and come from clear across the map to take these fights. I feel like Jack's favorite are always just listening to shots and running straight towards them. They're just playing ranked today. It seems to be working out pretty well for them right now as they've got quite a bit of KP. They've got a whole bunch of loot, actually probably 2 teams worth of loot to work with as well. So they're well positioned to do really solid in this game. Nice walk up as well with not too much pressure coming in as multiple squads continue to crash their rotations into each other on the southern edge. And we're going to see something like that here as anything. Trying to find any sort of success before closing out the series. 30 seconds left before this zone finally closes and they are forced to walk up.
Now, once again, guess who they walk up onto? Guess who's down to a solo once again? Never a full free man. Joking it. Now forced to play Zerat, who is going to have to try and die for any bit of placement, pushing them up that leaderboard. In the meantime, Team 8's also in a whole load of hurt. J-Walt might not even make it into the zone here. It's going to be close. Barely doesn't make it. The ring getting that last bit of damage onto him, and Shiro now has to play a 1v3. Already crosshairs trained onto him right out in the open. He's not long. The Sentinel will make sure of it. Team 8 fall. We are down to 7.
Yeah, brutal. Kill leader on your screen right now is Yo John on North making a big case for themselves right now, making a big case for a potential win as more and more teams continue to join the lobby. We've got Team 17 right now just putting on so much pressure. North finally waking up a little bit, perhaps a little too late, but they're still making a statement here. Anything has also found a much better game than they have in the last CU that they played in the series, but once again being taped out a little bit late on the rotation. And the full aggro might be the play here. That low ground is a little bit risky for their opponents, and beautiful damage coming out from Floop. This is the opening that they needed to force their way in.
Horizon also is going to stall things out so much, but not enough to stall out Floop. He's still raining down the hurt, giving in the damage. He's just lost damage on his own. He loses out on the 1v1. Can they find a way to capitalize hit on that damage? Doesn't seem to be able to. Eclipse now also in a lot of trouble. His head just poking out, and they're able to abuse it. Team 18 now Floop with everything to do the res. Gonna be able to come through, but how much longer can Eclipse stay alive? Nice shot from Floop. Might just be able to drive them just that tiny bit longer. Any bit of utility trying to be thrown towards the way of their opponents, trying to stay alive just a few seconds longer, but the ring is coming in, and they're going to have to move. Now takes the low ground. They can get easily aggressed on here, but at least some cover for the time being. Indeed, the swing now coming through. It's too much to handle. Team 1 looking to make a strong case to be our first double winners, or double victors. They have made
a climb now.
Indeed, still though, already losing out on one player. Now forced into this ditch. So much open space in front of them. Tensu gonna try to go for something, and he's gonna get fallen down. Jorkin is somehow managing to make it back to a free man once again. How on earth has Jorkin done it again? Now
they
it's
never
over. Now they look
stop.
to grieve it down. Team 1 eliminated. That's
Wow.
3 reses now.
UCSD also getting eliminated means we won't have the back-to-back from them.
How? How? Absolutely just how? Incredible from them. And now they make a strong case, potentially on the cards to win this out. But North, you have to say, they must be the favorites here, holding on to such a great position in the zone. Just spraying down that choke point, able to slide off the bush once again.
Hey, here's still be Davenport. They could steal this one away. They still have a chance as well, but Jorking it has fully recovered once again. I believe Deng Zero was on the high ground as well, so this is not going to be a cakewalk for any of these teams looking to make it the back-to-back. And I think with these 5 teams, we may be guaranteed a back-to-back, actually. Or at least we're pretty dang close. Yeah, we have Deng Zero, excuse me. Up on top as well are game 4 winners. What a story being put together here by these squads. What a just show of resilience and ability to close things out in the series. Solo, though, for Jack's favorite, going to make it a very, very tough hill to climb for them to make that back-to-back happen as well.
The elevation here is going to make it so difficult. This endgame is so hard to read. You go up the zip line, you drop down and try to get the advantage on the team. So many factors coming into this. It's really hard to say who holds the god spot in this position right now. Team 19 trying to get in on the action, trying to get into the center building. They do have one of the weaker icons though, only a purple shield potentially going on red for their Watson and Vita. The rest of them all on blue, spotted out by a Seer scan. Now they know their position, being aggressed on Jay-Z Striker, taking a lot of damage, able to hide behind that wall though. Going to get that res off, but now the zone creeping in behind him. He's going to have to move and right into the open, falls down. A res needs to come out here if they want to keep their tournament life alive. 17 now, it's North swinging on for this, aggressive, looking for the KP, they'll get it, and able to come back in, reclaim their position, still holding on strong, still making their case to win out this match.
So healthy on the inside too, so they had absolutely no trouble making that one happen. Off the back of a Dang Zero knock, it is going to be another clear out for the squad. Still a rat left, and actually I misspoke a little bit earlier, but Jorking it is I think the last team that could play spoiler on a back-to-back winner here. But once again, what is going to stop North from winning this one out? It's Jorking it on the inside, I believe, with 3 members strong, but triple purple shields to their name. So shield disadvantage, absolutely. And in terms of resources, likely very much the same, since we've seen North hold here all game long. Who's going to be the one to do it, Amouriz? Are we going to see any run back? Are we going to see a huge upset from Jorking it? Last ring closing, 2 minutes to decide who our final game winner is and potentially who the series winner is off of how big this dub could be.
Let's reposition there.
Team 17 looking through over and towards this middle side. They're going to be able to catch out the rat, spotting him. Are they willing to invest any resources into trying to get him out? Able to reposition Team 13, keeping their life alive just by a few more seconds. Now North looking to push in. That's very good. A rising Q coming out from Team 2 to just stave off the push a little bit longer. North looking to have to push in here, I believe, into Jorking it. Though, making a case for themselves. Team 3 still up above, potentially a dark horse to win it all out. Sentinel not entirely favored. We're able to win that out. As I say that, Team 13 taking a lot of damage. Surely they're watching over. Surely Team 3 is going to be watching this push, and indeed, this place still managing to find a position to play, but not for long. The ring swallows him up. We're down to 3. One more big fight here might just determine our winners. The ring closing in so incredibly close. You have to think that the team on height is favored, but as they're about to drop, they just might be throwing the spanner in the works. The question is, who did they drop on? Seer ult going to be invested, not expecting the team above, not anticipating for it, and that's a lot of damage done. This just might be the opportunity. Looking at need, North, can you still hold your position? Can you make it work? Now the drop, the swing has to happen. They have to piece the match. All 6 players now forced into one another. Team 3 have been able to find a really nice spot here, and now as the fight comes in, pandemonium breaking out. So much damage, so much flying. Belly taking a lot of damage. It seems North, only John left, won't be able to clutch it out, and Team 3 will come through and win it all. Dropping in from the height, they managed to carve out a piece of the map for themselves, and that's enough to give them the victory.
Dank Zero. Beautiful drop down there to be the only team to get the back-to-back. North looked like they might have played spoiler on it. Looked like they might have been the 6th winner on the board, but it is not the case here today. Dank Zero will be your game 6 winners, and we saw them performing pretty consistently throughout that 6-game series, so I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them very much high up on the leaderboard. We're going to find out here shortly if we're able to maybe at least shout out who the winners might be there, but what a showing from these squads. I mean, that was just such a fun set of games. The survivability from jorking it, the consistency of a dank zero, and just a fighting prowess from a number of these squads in that last game. Uh, Huge props to these squads. That was a blast to watch, and hopefully everyone at home was enjoying it just as much as we were, because those Storm Point games, as sloppy as they were, certainly didn't bring the foot off the pedal at any point in those matches.
Non-stop action. It came down to the wire. Dank Zero might have just secured it if they might just have been able to secure that win off the back of that back-to-back. But it seems the results are ready. Let us reveal who do you think has won. Melo, who won the match? Who won the top? Who won this best of 6?
It is going to be good old Team 13. Very solid performance from them. It's going to be crazy misplays and Jack's Tickle Monster who take this one down. But it was a very, very close race, let me tell y'all. 79 points overall for Team 13, for Jack's favorites, up against the rest of the top 3 here. We had Dank Zero, our back-to-back winners, with 77 points, just 2 points below that. And then Jorking It, who just seemed to be unwilling to die at any point in this game, managed to squeeze out 65 points for that third place finish. So commendable effort from all of the squads today. Very close race there in the top 3. I'm not going to lie to you. We were all kind of flying blind here because we did have a little bit of an issue checking out the stats as we went. But huge congratulations to Crazem, to Misplays, and to Jack's Tickle Monster for taking down this Apex Legends final.
I just want to throw it out there. That final rat play was what secured them the win. If he had died any longer, if he had not been able to survive all the way to top 4, top 5, I think it was top 4, they wouldn't have won out today. They would have lost out by those 2 points, and indeed our back-to-back winners might have been the ones to claim victory today. So all these tiny little what-if things, small things accumulating together, in Team 13, a well-deserved win.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
going to be it for us at the Apex
sweet.
Legends broadcast. But before we go, once again, huge shout out, huge thank you to Give Labs. Join their giveaway. Do ! Give Labs in the chat. They've done so much to sponsor us. They've done really well. And they're just giving away a lot of stuff. So do make sure to join in on that. Thanks a lot to the Gen G Collegiate program. I mean, listen, if you like gaming, if you're really into esports, Gen G, such a well-renowned org, doing so well here. You could join in on their collegiate program and just become, as their name suggests, the next generation. Shout out, of course, to our main sponsor of the Apex Legends stream, ZOTAC Gaming. We've talked so much about them. Make sure that you join in. They are going to be providing the prizes for tonight. So Team 13 will, in fact, be walking away with ZOTAC Gaming swag kits. So thank you very much for that sponsor. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to everyone who has pulled through today. The fans, the viewers, the staff, especially the staff, coming through together and organizing this tournament. Make sure to stay tuned. There is still action to come out. A TFT tournament is coming on here. I believe we'll have the broadcast name coming up very soon. But yeah, if you're interested in TFT, do go check it out. I hear it's a very good tournament. Indeed, it's going to be on twitch.tv/csoon esports. That's CSUN esports. Do be sure to go check it out. But I think, Melo, that wraps it up for us.
Yeah, that's going to be all from us. Thank you to everyone who joined. And yeah, once again, thanks to the staff and the production. They love to shout out other people on the team, but they're the ones that really make the magic happen behind the scenes. Thanks to the sponsors. Thanks for having me. And that was a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much. Be sure to close out that Summer Splash with us over at the TFT, Grand Finals. But yeah, that's going to be it. We will see you next time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Bye-bye.